Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting all magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blessed.
To this day.
Crumb
To this day.
TV.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting all magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
Crumb TV.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Live. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. And that song that you just heard on the intro, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is Theta Waves featuring the twin pillars, red and blue. You dig? All right. Shout out to Crumb TV for that excellent video. It make me not even want to do a real video. I promise you. Like I'm so drawn when it comes to that. Like that video, it's hard to even top that. But how is everybody doing? It's been a minute and whatnot since the last time we all got together. Shout out to everybody that pulled up for the impromptu album listening on Thursday that we shared a joint platform with 363 Empire and also with Cambada, who has Spontaneous Combustion. That is a podcast that he does every Thursday on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to his channel, make it over there. I'll drop the link before the show is over so you could pull up and definitely tap in with Cambada. The commentary is classic. You know, the commentary is spontaneous and it will have you in a combustion. I'll just leave it at that. A very unique commentary, but definitely a breath of fresh air from a genius. You feel me? Maybe an evil genius, but a genius nonetheless. So, with that being said, we have a lot to cover. I've been compiling a lot of information, and I aim to cover it all tonight. I want to get it all out. I want to, I want to get this information to the family because there's a lot of situations, there's a lot of stories, there's a lot of developments, and they all have somewhat of a throughway. Tonight, we're going to cover the earthquakes, multiple earthquakes, that is. There's an earthquake that took place in Granada, Spain. There's an earthquake that took place in mostly Muslim Indonesia. There's an earthquake that took place in a heavily melanated area of Colombia called Choco, right? So I want to send first and foremost prayers, energy, and well wishes to everybody that's being affected by these earthquakes and whatnot, right? We're going to talk about it. We're going to get to the bottom of that. We're also going to speak on some of the debates that have been taking place, right? There's been a lot of debates taking place. Yesterday, there was a debate with Candace Owens, right? Shout out to Ross Ben. This whole show should be is livicated. I don't use the word dedicated. This entire Saturday Night Live is livicated to Ross Ben because Ross Ben talked about the earthquake swarms. How did he know this? There's more earthquakes this year than any other year. 7.0 earthquakes. There's more huge earthquakes, and the year is not even over. We're literally in adjacent months. We're only in the A. We're only in the A of Jason. Let me think. Is this September or August? Yeah, we're only in the A of September of Jason. We're not even through the whole damn Jason, and already we got multiple earthquakes taking place. The earth is shaking, and if this spiritualist or this Nostradamus out of Colombia, if his predictions hold any weight, then my genius says we're gonna have to strap in and get ready for the big one. Because according to his predictions, some shit is about to hit the whole entire planet. But we'll get to that. So yeah, there's been debates going on, and I would like to say that shout out to brother Sadnetta, shout out to the HOK, shout out to the home of the debates and whatnot, where the debates originally popped off on YouTube. That is, it wasn't like he was the first one to create debates and whatnot. Somebody said man made or both. What I will not do on this platform is give no man the energy of a fucking earth. I'm not doing that. I am not giving no white man no energy. I'm not giving him providence over me. He didn't make no fucking earthquakes in my book. I'm not giving no man the providence that he's out here shaking the earth. I'm just saying. That's what I'm not doing. Okay? That is not what I'm doing. Not doing that. Y'all could do that. You could keep that white man in your mind that he's out here shaking the earth and he's that powerful. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. Okay? No, I ain't doing that. Because if that was the case, Iran will have an earthquake. I'm not doing it. No, y'all need to get off of that shit. Stop giving these people your power. Even if you think that you are giving somebody your power and you're missing the point about what's going on globally. I did say earthquake. Somebody said, did I say? Yeah, I did say. Yeah, I know that tech is real. I do know that tech is real. And I do know that tech is real. And I'm just saying, I'm just not willing to give up my power. I'm not willing to give this man all of that power. I'm not convinced. I am not convinced. Not that goofy ass white man that we be talking about for hours and hours on this show. I am not convinced. You need more people. He's powerful because you niggas is giving him the power. That's the only power that he has, is the fear of the Christianized black Negro in America, in Africa, in the Caribbean, and the UK. That's where his power is. He's pulling his power. Fuck CERN. He's pulling his power from the loins of Negroes. Facts. He don't got to do much. He's the boogeyman to y'all. The earth is earthing. The earth is earthing, man. But we're going to talk about it. We'll get to it. We'll come up to a conclusion at the end. But what I will not do, like I said, I am not forfeiting no power to no European. Hell nah. Even with all of their little toys and everything. I ain't doing it. You got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. I need receipts. I need all of the fucking, because it's speculative. And what I'm not going to do is get into speculation. Go to Poly Market with all of that speculation and get paid, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Go to Poly Market and Kalashi and come up if you want to speculate. I don't want to speculate. I don't. So there's debates going down. Candace Owens, who Ross Ben just talked about on Wednesday during the eclipse. He brought her name back up. I was cool on Candace. I wasn't hearing her name. I wasn't paying attention to her. She wasn't on my radar. No disrespect or nothing. It just was, that series was over. WWE, White Woman Entertainment. We all was a part of that season. We subscribed to it, but it was season finale. Her shit was done. Now she's back. She's back on the scene like she never left. Dog walking white men. You know what I'm talking about? Washing them, right? And to go back to what I was initially saying about the debates and everything, the debates that I'm seeing on the YouTube these days, there's 3 different forms of debates that I've seen. The thing that Candace Owens has been doing with the moderator and whatnot, right? Those are like big ticket debates, because I think the dude said she just debated, he paid her 300 bands. I like shit like that. That's my language. My whole theory is, if you're going to do it big, do it big. If you're going to do that shit, do it big. And what I'm seeing coming out of there, and to be honest with you, it was no nigga shit going on. It wasn't all over the place. You didn't feel like somebody was ready to shoot the next person. I'm into that type of energy right now. I ain't you know what I mean? I remember going to a debate in Harlem. I had my mama there and the mother of my daughter. We was hiding underneath a table, nigga. Facts. When it popped off, we was hiding underneath a table in Harlem, bro. My mother at a Sonetta debate. Facts. With Seti and Polite, nigga. You feel me? I'll never want to do nothing like that again. I would never want to subject my loved ones to nothing like that again. That's called nigga debates. And I never want to be a part of that ever in my life. You feel me? I'm so turned off by that type of energy. That's Starfallah in my book. You know what I mean? Get that the fuck out of here. That's why things like that did not thrive the way that they intentionally should have. What you mean? What happened? What you think happened? What you think happened? Somebody called Dr. York gay and all hell broke loose. They call him, yeah, they call him sassy or something. I don't know what was being said, but it was Dr. York getting exposed by the opposition, and that almost created a riot. Anyway, then there's a sister by the name of Jasmine, right, who got out here the other day and completely cooked 20 Christians. Jasmine is a spiritualist. The sister Jasmine, I'm not that familiar with her. Others are, right? I may have seen her in the social media atmosphere, but I never really tapped in with her. But I did tap into her debates and I was thoroughly impressed, right? And the way that the type of debate that she was doing, 20 versus 1, that was void of nigga shit, okay? She was cooking, but there was no cursing. Nobody threw nothing. You didn't feel like they was about to jump her. Nobody, it wasn't like a Zeus Network presents debates and hair was getting, I didn't see no weaves getting pulled out. You feel me? Nobody was getting derogatorily insulted. There was rapport, right? If you're gonna do a debate, you need to have some type of rapport. There needs to be some type of rapport. Enough is enough. These people who you call the 85ers, you called them the 85ers. You said that they was lower than you, but they consecutively are showing you how to do shit. How, Sway? How? I'm just wondering. How's the 85ers setting a fucking bar? And then the third level of debates, or the third genre of debates, or the third debates that I've been enjoying is with Tazariak from the ISUPK versus he has a platform that he goes on with this white boy. I think his name is Max, but the white boy got like 2 million followers, and he brings Tazariak on a platform consecutively to cook rabbis and people of the is it real faith, like real rabbis, Goldilocks and all of them. And he been mopping up the floor with them for months now. I'm talking about completely embarrassing them, right? Dog walking these boys. Those are the type of debates that I've been into lately, and I thoroughly enjoy it. There's a level of entertainment, which it should be. If it's on YouTube, it should not be, because going all the way back to Phil Donahue's show with Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben was on Phil Donahue completely cooking the opposition with a suit and tie on, right? He was hitting them with headshots with the most calmest, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like completely sniper mode. Huh? He was sniping them. You feel me? And then you had Khalid Muhammad on Phil Donahue sniping them and cooking them. Shahrazad Ali on Phil Donahue doing the debates and cooking them. The only one that went left, I think, was with Roy Ennis and Al Sharpton. I think Roy Ennis started fighting with the KKK, and I think he slapped Al Sharpton. I don't know. Roy Ennis allegedly is related to my grandfather on my mother's side. I'll get y'all the DNA results. I don't claim him though. I don't know about all of that. But Roy Ennis from the group called Core, he was like he was a figure back in the days in like the 80s and shit when Al Sharpton was chubby. You know? So you just saw Dr. Phil Valentine in the audience for the Dr. Phil Valentine was definitely in the audience for the Phil Donahue debate. I saw that too. Those were classics. Yeah. Roy Ennis attacked the KKK. Yeah, he did that. But I do think that he slapped Al Sharpton as well. That was Al with the perm. That was Al with the blowout. That was Al with the wash and set. You know what I'm talking about? That was Al that used to have the medallion in the sweatsuit. That was Al when he was wearing the wire. He was through the wire. Yeah, that was that Al. You feel me? That's Big Al. Yeah, they was thumping. I remember they was thumping. But yeah, the KKK, that was not on Donahue. That was on Geraldo Rivera. My memory is coming back. That was on Geraldo Rivera. They was beating up the KKK. I remember that. So anyway, you said he still got that perm. Does he? I thought he had cornrows. Damn, I should pay attention. Does Al Sharpton still have perm? Damn. What is that doing to his brain? My goodness. I didn't even know he still had I thought he had like natural. Anyway, yes, Farrakhan was on Donahue cooking. Man, rising power to Phil Donahue. God damn it. That he got my namesake. You know what I'm talking about? I might even have to become a Phil Donahue in one of my alter egos. Because we gotta give Phil Donahue his props. You dig? Phil Donahue was a legend. He didn't have to do all of that. Yeah, he didn't have to do it. But he did. So when they saw Phil Donahue doing what he was doing, that's when they created Jerry Springer. We do know this. I watched the documentary. That's when Jerry Springer came in with he was the AI slop before AI slop. You know what I'm talking about? He came in and disrupted the seriousness of what a Phil Donahue was doing. But before Jerry Springer came in, Geraldo Rivera, right, came in, and then Morton Downey came in, and then Richard Bey. I don't think he's a Moore. Richard Bey came in, and it was a whole litany of them and whatnot. And then you get the buffoonery of Jerry Springer. He set mankind back about 20 years. I promise you. He set mankind back about 20 years on guard. That's really what's up. I don't think people realize the damage that Jerry Springer caused. I need one of you drill rappers to make a video at his gravesite. Fuck that. Violate. You know what I'm talking about? All you NBA young boy, shiesty, poo shiesty niggas. Yeah, go and do one of those songs at Jerry Springer's tomb. Violate. Cause he needs to be violated. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't get violated enough when he was alive. He's like, if Terminator, if y'all go back in time, yeah, go and clip him too. You feel me? Go and clip him too. But yeah, make one of those disrespectful smoking on Jerry type shit. Yeah, disrespect him because he disrespected the whole entire humanity with that bum ass show, Jerry Springer. Because I'm going to say it like this, and it might sound crazy that I'm even talking about Jerry to some people who grew up and thought Jerry was their hero. The things that Jerry Springer was highlighting on his show, when he first began highlighting it, nobody was doing that in the hood. That wasn't happening, bro. That was all scripted. 10 years later, they were doing that. They literally, you know, when they say that life imitates art, well, that's what happened with Jerry Springer's show. Facts. Dead ass. He exposed Middle America. And then what did that do for you? What did that do for you? How did that help you out? Them exposing Middle America did what? Please let me know. Because niggas start mimicking. You understand? When we were coming up, trailer trash was a real thing. Shamefulness was a real thing. White people doing shameless shit was a real thing. We were not on that type of time. After the Jerry Springer era, we were on that time, and then they cleaned up and was acting like we were the savages. Talk black to me. That's what happened. That's literally what started happening. All of that Maury Povich and that Jerry Springer stuff, yeah, that did more of a detriment to us than it did to them. They got to see how crazy they looked, and they was like, hell nah, fuck that. But then our people started mimicking that shit. Niggas that was at home, all of those stay-at-home parents, and all of those people that were on that did not work, that did not have a job, they had nothing to do but watch daytime fucking television. Yeah, they became what they despised the most. You were not there. I was there. I promise you, that's what was happening. That's when they got rid of the Cosby Show. They got rid of Different World. They got rid of all of these programs, Girlfriends and all of that, and they start giving you the bullshit, the niggerized versions, the Al Bundys of the world. All of that stuff came in, and our people mimicked that shit, bro. Facts. They mimicked it. So no, that was not good for us. That was a detriment to our culture. Real talk. And it's, you know, my heart goes out to the people that were born into the filth. It's almost like, you know how they be having those births and women be in a tub. Well, imagine giving an at-home birth inside of a septic tank. Huh? Imagine an at-home birth inside of a septic tank. Real talk. That's what the fuck is going on when they were birthing these children into this toxic ass culture. A home birth in a septic tank. Yeah, where my KTL clippers, man? Y'all niggas went missing on me, man. Y'all supposed to be clipping these fucking shows up. I can't do everything, bro. Dead ass. Y'all don't pay me enough. I cannot do everything. I'm like a fucking immigrant. I'm working like a migrant. You know what I'm talking about? I don't believe you me. I wish I could. I just can't. I wish I can. Yeah, a septic tank. That is what the culture turned into. You know how Elijah Muhammad said, give him the clean glass and the dirty glass and whatnot. The dirty glass turned into a septic tank in our culture. And we were given home births inside of the tank. Children were born inside of a nasty culture. They were born inside of a poison culture. They were born inside of a toxic environment. Huh? Imagine you being a baby and your parents is playing fucking DMX without the prayers. It's hell. It's hot and hell. You know, I love me some DMX, but that was low frequency. That's a low frequency plate, my niggas. That frequency, that demonic Damien shit, the things that he was summoning. Huh? Imagine you being a zygote inside of the belly and Mama Dukes and Papa Dukes is playing DMX on loud. They're playing fucking Cash Money on loud. They're playing My Neck and My Back and all of this crazy oh my goodness. That wasn't conducive to your molecular structures. Are you dumb? Imagine being a child and you playing mixtape Wheezy around your babies. What do you think is gonna happen? So when these kids is running around with these shiesties on and they out here killing like it's a like that shit is a career and whatnot, I wonder why. Did you see NBA YoungBoy calling his mother a bitch, cursing his mama out? He hates his mother. Did you hear Pooh Shiesty's fucking album? Huh? Did you hear the new Pooh Shiesty album? Come on, fam. Let's not play dumb. This is the chitlins of music. Yeah, niggas got greasy faces and whatnot, and they're eating it all up. Because ignorance is bliss, and I heard that it tastes good. You know? The ignorance is bliss. People are not trying to face reality. They don't want to look in the mirror because the mirrors are broken and whatnot. They don't want to face themselves. They would rather fall off into the void and whatnot. They want to escape. NBA YoungBoy is an escape for them. Drill music and retarded music is an escape for them. Pussy popping music is an escape for them. You feel me? Kill, 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 murder, 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 death culture music is an escape. Sassy Santana music is an escape for these dudes, I promise you, and these women's. But the children can't read. We're going to get to that. The children can't comprehend. They can't read. They're going down a bad path right now. You got teachers crying and shit because these damn children can't read. They can't answer simple questions, bro. Nothing good is going to come out of that. You feel me? There's nothing good that could come out of that. Because people, if you don't have your intelligence intact, you're food right now in this system. You're going to be programmed. You're a useless eater. So there's debates, there's earthquakes, and then there's hate. I don't want to put that in the title because I don't really, you know what I mean? But we're going to cover that too. You know, people hating on other people and whatnot, hating on people's greatness. That young man in the UK and whatnot took his, I don't know if he took his life, but his life is gone and whatnot. He was being hated on by white supremacists and they called him a plagiarizer. He was one of the first quote unquote was he a professor in one of those Ivy League colleges? But we're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk about that. You feel me? Chase them up out of here and whatnot. The girl Clarissa Shields and whatnot getting hated on by black women and whatnot for no, you know, I'm not gonna say for no reason. You know, she makes herself hateable. You feel me? But this woman is a champion. She fighting a white woman tonight. The white woman she's giving Drago vibes. I don't know. I could be wrong. She's giving Rocky 3 vibes. White chick is giving Drago vibes. I hope she don't get mollywopped by no pink toe. For real, for real. That's not, I'm not even gonna bet against her. I just hope she don't get mollywopped by a pink toe. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a few dollars on her. I could, you know what I mean? I'll even take the loss. If I lose a few dollars, I'll take the loss because I need her to come out victorious. Yeah, the first black professor at Cambridge is unalive. He's no longer with us. He got basically chased up out of his seat. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy, bro. That's crazy. Niggas was banging on him online. He couldn't take it and whatnot. You know? So the odds is way in her favor tonight. Shit. One thing that I learned over the years is this is the year of the underdog. The odds has been a lot at the hub. When the odds is all in your favor, Vegas start playing around, my niggas. I don't know. But I do want her to win. But if she does wind up losing, they're gonna blame it on the fact that she's being hated on, and there's a lot of hate. You know, Remy Mars in the back with the Birdman hand rub. She can't wait to clown this girl. You feel me? She can't wait to clown this girl. But it's like, where's the love? Where's the love? This girl is a champion. She's nice with the mittens and whatnot. You know what I mean? She's not built for she's just not built for the big league. She's not built. She doesn't have the media training that some women have. Oh, she disrespected Layla Ali. I heard that Muhammad Ali's ex-wife was paying her to fight Layla and whatnot. I might need to see that. I might need to see that. I don't know. I don't even know who I'll be rooting for. I love me some Layla Ali, but I tell you that, you know what I'm saying? I love me some Layla, you know. But when I seen Shorty's hands and her, you know what I mean? That's a good fight. I made the best lady win. Made the best lady win. Right? So yeah. But I don't think that she should be getting, and I was reading some of the comments and I'm like, wow, okay. Like I hope she has a shield. I hope she's mentally strong because boxing is all about the mental strength of the athlete, right? She don't want Layla. I mean, Layla don't want that smoke because that's a young, you know what I mean? She's a little more, to be honest with you, she's been in the ring consecutively. Clarissa. You know what I mean? That Pat Poose making that girl go in the booth. Pat Poose need to get in the ring too for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things that they need to just chill with. You know what I mean? If she wins tonight, I'm a DM both of them. Like, look, if you made it past, the tall white girl and whatnot, listen. Get the fuck off of social media. Get out of the booth. Don't ever show up to a recording booth ever again, Clarissa. Ever. Like for real, for real. You don't never need to be listen. Oh, you need to only pop out when it's time to fight. You did? You know what I mean? Get booed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that relationship because I don't know if y'all was following Remy Ma. She stepped out first with the Bucktooth boy, Easy Block Captain. She violated. So you know what I mean? She can't say nothing to that woman about coming to Papoose rescue. Because Papoose would have probably crashed out and been caught a charge if he didn't have Clarissa to balance out the pain that he may have, because he got publicly embarrassed. The girl is married. In Saudi Arabia, she would have got hit with some stones for the shit that she did with Easy the Block Captain. Facts. Super facts. So some freestyle. Nah. There's nothing that Clarissa did in the booth needs to be on the internet, fam. I don't give not one thing. She don't even need to do a tag for the producers. Her voice is annoying when it's over a beat. I don't want to hear nothing that Clarissa gotta say on a beat. Fact, just beat the hands. Pause. Use the beats with your hands. Pause. Like those the only beats that I want to see her on is in the ring. Other than that, everything is not for everybody, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Everything is not for everybody. You can't do it all, beloved. You cannot do it all, beloved. You do not need to be rapping. That just for that, the pimp god Sharab might make you lose. You gotta get humble because you think you an artist. So that's where you fucked up. If you did fuck up tonight, that's where you fucked up. We will revisit this conversation. If she do get put on her two back pockets, you know what I'm talking about? It's because she was trying to rap. It's because she was trying to rap. Papoose, listen, brother. Put some Vaseline on them ashy ass hands of yours, and get back in your bag, my nigga. You OG Brooklyn. You know what I'm talking about? You know your lady need instructions, nigga. Get with the put her on the program. Man up, nigga. Put on the program, man. What the fuck? You know what I'm talking about? Because I know you didn't tell her that she could rap. She told you that she could rap. Put her on the program, family. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, this is not the Papoose that I grew up watching on Smack DVD. You know what I mean? He happy go lucky right now. But anyway, let's go. Let's get into the earthquakes, right? Now, mind you, this is the disclaimer. I don't want to put no fear in nobody's hearts. All I'm doing right now is I am trying my best to give us some type of insight as to what's going on through nature, through natural, through the earth, what the earth is on, right? Don't get scared. You don't get scared. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like, oh, Red is trying to put us in a fear paradigm. I am not. I'm just giving you, a little bit of the news and some of the headlines, and I'm catching you up to date as to what the fuck is going on. If you live in a high rise in California, you might want to move. You might want to sell the penthouse. I'm just saying, you might not want to be on the 50th floor living in Los Angeles right now. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Just Airbnb that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Airbnb that shit. You know what I mean? And go somewhere where it's not a lot of big ass buildings around you. For real.
Shaking, terrible.
It's about to go down, you guys. It's about to go down. It has been fucking just shaking. Terrifying, bro. Terrifying. All this past, 3 fucking weeks? Venezuela, Colombia, and today Spain and Indonesia got one of the biggest earthquakes in history, 7.7. You guys, I live in fucking California. I was here for the one in 2010 and it was like 5.5, I think. And that shit rocked us really bad. Everybody was fucking going crazy. So, we got the San Andreas faults here in California. So, if we get a big ass fucking earthquake, we're fucking done, bro. We are fucking done. I mean, it's been shaking all over the world. At any fucking time, California can just fucking break in half. We end up in Alaska and we're all end up being fucking penguins in the fucking frozen water. Bro, it's over, bro. It's fucking over. I mean, shit. Man, just repent, bro. Repent, bro. This nigga look a zesty Ecuadorian talking about repent. Look at this shit right here. Check this out. Right now, this is Indonesia today. This is Indonesia. The motherfucker 30 seconds be feeling like 3 hours. Them little 30 seconds feeling like 3 hours when shit is shaking and whatnot. Shit is shaking.
Tago! Lord, tama na, Lord! Lord! Tama na, Lord!
Now, this shit right here, this shit hit off the coast, right? They got warnings for tsunamis and whatnot, right? And that bitch hit off the coast, and as you could see how it was shaking up the motherfucking like some real serious things are going on with Mama Earth. Check this shit out. Now look at this. So if anybody knows anything about Granada, Spain, right? So Indonesia got hit with a 7.0. Granada, Spain, the home of the Moors, right? Granada, Spain, the home of the Moors, got hit with a 5.0. Now I don't know how much damage happened to the mosque and everything, and Al Andalus and all of the structures. I got to do a little bit of homework, but they're not even reporting on Al Andalus. They're not even talking about Spain getting hit. They're mostly focused on Indonesia, right? But Indonesia has a large Muslim population, right? Watch Miss Blue. I'm gonna check out Miss Blue's prediction show. Shout out to Miss Blue, man. I definitely want Miss Blue to pull up and whatnot. I've been seeing her cooking and getting busy and whatnot. And yeah, I've always been a fan of Miss Blue since Blog Talk days, for real. Allah, man. Something going on with Allah that we need to know about, because the Muslim countries is getting shook. They're getting shooken up, Now there's somebody making predictions out this motherfucker. We got a new Nostradamus on the scene, y'all. There's a new Nostradamus on the scene. He's out here cooking. Check him out. Let's talk about it.
The prophet who predicted the earthquake in Venezuela and said that 4 more were missing, which was the beginning of the end of times or something like that. And that the next country to suffer an earthquake would be Colombia. Well, unfortunately, it came true. And the most alarming thing is that now he says that the next ones are California and Mexico. Look at what he says.
The earthquakes began in the Philippines, and now Venezuela was punished. Like the Philippines, the next earthquake will be in Colombia.
And then there will be a worldwide earthquake. You just saw it. The thing in Venezuela, the thing in the Philippines, that those are the beginning of the end. Because those 4 earthquakes will destroy entire cities, like California, like Mexico, and there are going to be tsunamis.
And he didn't just say that, he also said that the earth was going to shake like a piece of paper, that Mexico was going to shake as if it were a drunkard. He alerted all the people to protect their relatives, that they should stay in safe places, sleep with their clothes on, save money, but not in banks. Something they could have at hand in case they had to leave quickly.
Nah. Like I said, I don't want nobody to be getting scared by hearing this shit. You know what I mean? I'm just reporting the news as it comes to me. You know what I mean? It can induce fear if you are in a fearful state. But you the chosen few. You protected. This don't got nothing to do with you. You just literally watching a movie and whatnot. This don't got nothing to do with you. But please understand that when they talk about the mud floods and the Great Reset and shit like that, my niggas, it happened through earthquakes and floods. You know what I'm talking about? It happened through earthquakes and floods. And if people is like, yo, we need if the timeline is shifting, they turn CERN off and all of this crazy shit, and people want a new beginning and they want a dimension and they want a new reality and a new timeline, well, things are gonna have to destroy in order for new things to give birth. That's how that shit happens. You feel me? That's how it happens. If you are in the chat trolling, your ass will get kicked the fuck out. Trust me. You know what I mean? You got one more chance. Biggie and Faith.
So creepy, and I hope his third prediction does not come true. So this is a prophet from Colombia, and apparently he predicted that Venezuela was going to be hit with a huge earthquake, and when that came true, he was recorded saying that the next earthquake would happen in Colombia. And mind you, I'm a huge skeptic, but you have to listen to this. So this post was uploaded on June 27th. I did translate the caption into English. It says, "The self-declared prophet Simon, known for preaching in the center of Medellin, has again generated controversy on social networks after a video went viral in which he claims the next major..."
My $1 million thing is like, what is this? Like, what is this? Is he CIA? Is he Mossad? Like, what is this? Is he is it just the luck of the draw? How is he predicting these things? What does he know? Who is he talking to? What the fuck is he tapped into? Is he reading the charts? Is he making predictions? That's the $1 million question. You know?
Earthquake will occur in Colombia. And Simon did make another prediction, and I fear this one is the worst. So he said after Colombia, the next place that gets hit with an earthquake is the entire world all at the same time. Now, the post does go on to say that when it comes to earthquakes, there is no scientific evidence that there is a way to predict when or where they will occur. So basically, take Simon's predictions with a grain of salt, but I mean, he is 2 for 2 right now.
My nigga on Polymarket hitting. He according to Polymarket, he's a legend.
Colombia's most Afro-Colombian province was at the epicenter of the earthquake, and it's paying the price for generations of government neglect. The epicenter was in the remote...
So when you hear about Colombia and people try to brush it, whatever, Colombia's Afro-Colombian population has been struck, right? Colombia's the same way when it hit in Venezuelan, it hit the Afro-Venezuelan community. I showed the video. They were literally having a quote unquote Shango festival, and the fucking earthquake hit Venezuela. Venezuela is not that, they don't have those many numbers of melanated people like that. So for the earthquake to hit directly where they're at and then turn right around a few weeks later and it hits directly in the epicenter of the of Afro-Colombia, right? And you know, wherever we're at, that's power. Wherever we are concentrated in these Caribbean and Latin American countries, we're doing magic. That's where the magic is at. That's where the power is at. That's where the spirituality is at. And I brought this up before. The president who just got sworn in, he's right wing. He's down. He's a is it real puppet. He's a USA Trump is it real Netanyahu puppet. He literally moved his inauguration from Bogota right over in Cali, right where the earthquake hit. 2 days later, the earthquake hit. So these people, the melanated Afro Colombians, are now being subjected to neglect. They're probably going to be organ harvesting them. They're probably going to be doing a bunch of shit to these people and whatnot. That's why I say, and I'm not talking about the people who don't give a fuck about nobody that don't live around their way or on their block or in their state. I'm talking about the melanated people whose hearts are open. I'm talking about the melanated people who have some type of providence over the globe. Send the energy out to your people. Send the energy out to your people. They ain't do nothing to your ass. Send the energy out to your people because they need it, okay? Either there's a spiritual attack going on right now or something is happening, okay? God is sending out some signals.
Colombia's most Afro-Colombian province was at the epicenter of the earthquake, and it's paying the price for generations of government neglect. The epicenter was in the remote department of Chocó, which has very few roads or airports, and is also Colombia's poorest department. As many as 80% of the department is Afro-descendant, and they say they feel abandoned by the central government. It's also historically been one of the regions most affected by Colombia's armed conflict, and even before the quake, the department only had one hospital equipped for even the most basic surgery.
Now, remember when I came back from Colombia and I was like, yo, Spirit completely showed me everything that I needed to see about some of the things that were going on. I don't know everything. I don't know everything. My disclaimer, I don't know. I only know what knows me. But Spirit was like, the Afro-Colombians, they were the ones that were mostly affected by, even with Pablo Escobar, that whole rise up of the cocaine cowboys. You know what I mean? Remember, our people the melanated people were more so affected by that than anybody else in these Latin American countries and whatnot. They were displacing them. And they also used those cocaine wars to start knocking off a lot of our people and whatnot, especially the revolutionaries and the people who were trying to liberate these countries from the colonizers, because the colonizers are behind all of that. The colonizers were always behind all of that. Before niggas found out about Oliver North and whatnot, the colonizers were behind all of that. So when they started forming groups like FARC, right? When they started going and they started forming these anti-government groups and they went into the Amazon and they went into the jungles and whatnot, and they started having armed conflict with the government, that's an aspect of it. It wasn't just about drugs and whatnot. There was a political underpinning to it. But melanated women, especially black women, melanated women, big mama and whatnot, they are the ones they are the ones who got boot on neck. They're the ones that have been affected the most. Of course, the men get jailed, they get knocked off, they get beheaded, they get bodied and whatnot. They do the men heavy-handed, but they do the women more heavy-handed as well. Prostitution, sex trafficking, human trafficking, organ harvesting, grape, SA, all type of shit going on in these countries. Trust me when I tell you. So the spirit of Big Mama was crying out when I was out there, crying loud, shaking the fucking jungle, bro, crying out. They need some type of help. They need some type of quote unquote, they need somebody to shine a light. They are suffering from underneath the quote unquote conquistadors and whatnot. And then they elected a right wing. I was there when there was a socialist president, and I was in Bogota. I told you I was in an airport in Bogota, and these people were looking at me. I had a Marcus Garvey hoodie on, and these conquistadors and these goddamn these slaves were looking at me like I was the worst thing ever. If looks could kill, my nigga, we would have been. I'd have been on a t-shirt. Okay. And then when I flew in a plane and I looked out the plane window, all I saw for miles were houses like this right here. You see that house right there with the tin roof? All I saw, I'm flying from the airport. I'm assuming the people that's looking at me and looking down and turning their nose up at me, that they living good. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, these niggas is living like this. And got the nerve to look at me like something going on with. I'm like, fam, fix your fucking roof. The nerve of you niggas. But a lot of that shit look like that in Colombia, all over Latin America, all over South America, all over the Caribbean, fam. So when these earthquakes be hitting and whatnot, it starts pancaking these buildings and whatnot because them buildings are not built right. And I ain't even talking about these structures. I'm talking about those high rises that you see in the back and whatnot. Them shits is fucking Lego buildings. Let's not even talk about the favelas. Let's not even talk about they got housing in the mountains and whatnot. The favelas, God forbid that they get hit with an earthquake. It's gonna be super ugly. But this is the land of the Moors, right? This is Al-Andalus. This is the great estate. This is stolen land. And yeah, them people with them long noses, the real estate agents, they're running all kind of plays in South America / Latin America. They done took over Argentina. They want Paraguay. Now they got Venezuela. Now they got Colombia. And they're going to continue to eat like a Pac-Man and whatnot, gobbling up pellets. They want that whole entire region. You feel me? They're going to pillage it for their natural resources. That whole entire region been getting pillaged for gold, silver, bauxite for like since the 1500s. It's nonstop. They pillaging that shit. And the ultimate goal is the Amazon rainforest. That is why they are forming all around and whatnot, because they want the Amazon rainforest. Brazil is next on their quote unquote in the scopes of their because they had Bolsonaro. They already had one of their puppets in Brazil for a minute. He's out of there now, but he created irreversible damage and whatnot. That's what gave them the inroads to run up in the Amazon. On the Brazil side, Bolsonaro let them in. So now you have them recalling beef paws. They recalling all of these meats and whatnot coming into America. That's coming out of Brazil and whatnot. All of that shit compromised. All of that is compromised and what you don't know what they putting in them in that food that they are processing out of Brazil. You have no idea, right?
The day after the quake struck, rescuers still weren't able to reach the epicenter, partly because of how difficult it is to travel overland. Colombia's new right-wing president, Abelardo de la
There he go. He looked just like Bukele or whatever that dude is in El Salvador, who brought in the Bitcoin economy and built the mega prison and whatnot. You feel me? These are the children of the conquistadors. Look at these niggas in the background and whatnot. These are the people that I'm talking about. When I was in Colombia, I was seeing this phenotype. These were the phenotypes of the conquistadors and whatnot. These are the children of the conquistadors. These are the fuck boys of the empire. You know?
Espriella took office just days before the quake, and residents say he briefly visited Choco promising support, but they say they haven't seen any. And so for survivors in Choco, the long wait to get the attention of the central government goes on.
Yeah, Choco, you know what I mean? Send that energy out to Choco, which stands for chocolate. right? Our people are getting punished.
Guys, look at these earthquakes. August 9th, 2026. Just look at this. Aleutian Islands, Alaska. I mean, it's constant all day long. Look at this. Seattle, California, Northern Cal, Southern Cal. It's all lit up, all these plates. Mexico, Baja. Look at Mexico.
So either there's some underground shit going on with the Leviathan and the giants and the Dumbos and the bunkers and the aliens, right? We could put that out there. There's some wars going on underneath our feet because what the fuck? Harp is doing this every day. They're just turning on for the people to give this harp the power of create every fucking thing that goes wrong is harp. You mean to tell me that they're just turning on harp all day, every day to do earthquakes? That's what we saw. That's what's on your mind. That's what's happening.
Look at this. It's insane all along the coast. Keep watching. Look at this. South America. It's overwhelming how much you're looking at. South America, all along that west coast of South America. Caracas. Look at that. There's the islands, Dominican, Haiti. Yup, United States. Look at this. That's called the eclipse line. There's a reason for that. Now keep watching. Look at Europe. It's unbelievable. That's all of Europe. Almost every continent has earthquakes. Africa, Madagascar, India. Look at this. Burma, Bangladesh. Look at it. Doesn't end. Look at Malaysia. Here, Jakarta, Indonesia. Look at this. It's on fire. Look at the Philippines. Look at that. It's over 500 of them there. It doesn't end, guys. Repost, share.
So the earth is literally having birthing pains. Something is being born, right? It's not that something is being destroyed, because if that was the case, those places would probably be in the ocean and whatnot. Something is rising up. There's something rising up. Something is going on that's rising up. Okay. This will not be the first and it will not be the last time. Right. But there's a lot of activity. And I would definitely I would ask my researchers and my deep divers to just go a little bit deeper. Let's not just give the surface answers about, if you're gonna say harp, if you're gonna say all of these things, then come through with the receipts. You feel me? Prove your case. Put out a paper, a white paper. You know what I mean? Give me the link to your Substack. Like, I need research. I need research, because you see these debating circles right here. When you get up there for a debate, you better have your motherfucking research or you're going to get washed. You're going to get dog walked. Have your research. Have some thorough ass research and not that YouTube shit. You need research. You need research. You need your facts to be in alignment. Stop with the bullshit, because that's not that's a slap in the face to smart people. You're insulting our intelligence. You feel me? And that's not what this channel is about. It's mad places on YouTube that you could go ahead and just say anything on. Not over here. We do research. We want to get to the bottom of things. You know? We want to get to the bottom of things. We are more interested in the truth than some sensationalism or some type of speculation. Fuck that. It's 2026.
Largest earthquake of the year just happened. A massive 7.7 quake off the coast of Indonesia. The birth pains are ramping up every single day.
So this is 2026. By a show of hands, because I mean, god damn it, Ross Ben. I hope that I'm gonna call Ross Ben up and ask him, did they take care of you when you came on the show? Did you get taken care of? Did they show you love? Because you're a whole fucking legend, bro. You feel me? You, Ra'aku, these brothers in our community are national treasures. These are national treasures. The way that he was able to predict the hurricane swarm on the top of the year, man, look at this shit. How did he know? How did he know? How did he know? So this is white people doing all of this too in your eyes, right? It could be. They so nefarious and whatnot. It literally could be. I don't put nothing against. I'm not taking nothing off the table. I'm just saying. Let's get some research. Let's bring some receipts. Let's do some real research. Let's do some real investigative reporting. Because this is not normal right here. This is not normal. This is abnormal. This is a pattern. You smell me? This all happened in this calendar year. By a show of hands, how many people would be willing to who want to see Ross Ben do a prediction for the rest of the year on the Patreon? I can't do it on YouTube because I have to compensate them, you know what I'm saying? So we would have to do it behind a paywall. And then there's just certain things that we're going to talk about. I don't want nobody to ever do a lecture or a presentation or a master class and they feel like they have a muzzle on. That is so debilitating. I don't think anybody understands how debilitating that feels. I would never promote nobody coming on my platform and they have to tippy toe around the tulips and whatnot. I want you to have full sovereignty when you talk your talk and when you let it out. I just want to take a toll. How many of y'all is willing to pull up to the Patreon to hear the good brother give you the forecast for the rest of the year, bro? Yeah, Ra Aku was on 363 Empire going fucking crazy. I was able to see the difference between the two, or not the difference. I see how they complement one another, but the energies are definitely complementary. It's like red and blue pill. Blue pill is more laid back, you know what I mean? He'll hit a 3-pointer with his eyes closed. I'm running up to the rim trying to break that shit like Shaquille back in the days. Like I'm dunking it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm in the paint. You know what I mean? With the aggressive blocks and all of that. You know what I'm talking about? Blue is playing. He's Steph Curry with the threes. He's like the Splash Brothers. That's like Ross Ben is giving you Splash Brothers, and Ra Aku is dunking on you. Yeah, he's breaking the rim and talking shit while he's doing it. Yeah, he's talking crazy shit. You know what I'm talking about? But yes, I want y'all to get this information, and I definitely want to bring the God through. I want to take care of him. I want to give him an honorarium and whatnot. I want to make him feel honored. This is that's why I do these Patreons and I bring on bring teachers on every month, because I don't do it for the homeboy. I do it. I pay them. I put bread in their hands and whatnot. I compensate them because I want them to. If nobody's gonna do it, you feel me? I'm gonna do it. In a perfect world, there would be about 5 or 6 platforms and we all do it to each. We just rotate and we put bread and we take care of these teachers and we give them honorariums and we make sure that we put bread in their hands and whatnot. You feel me? Because this is what they deserve. They've worked hard enough. They should be getting compensated for their their superpowers. I'm not gonna wait for no white man. I'm not gonna wait for no knuckle draggers. I'm not gonna wait for the church. I'm not waiting for the social media. Nobody cares about our master teachers. Nobody cares about our scholars. Nobody cares about our gems. This is something that we should be responsible for. We should clothe and cloak and take care of them. We should be able to hold them down and make them feel appreciated. You feel me? So I will have a conversation with the OG about doing something at the end of this month, because God damn it, I need a forecast. I need to know how to move and whatnot, because I've been going back to the January show that he did so I could basically prepare myself moving through the Jason months. But now we're in the Jason months and his predictions were from January, from Janice to Jason. Remember, he predicted from Janus to Jason. We are in Jason, so we need a Jason to the end of the fiscal, right? So yeah, I'll let y'all know what the decision that we make.
We've been talking about this for the past couple years as things are increasing slowly, gradually, but they're getting worse and they're getting closer. And it's not just the quakes, it's the volcanic activity, it's the violence, it's the lawlessness, it's the greed, it's the corruption, it's the AI, it's the centers that store data, it's all the things, it's the floods, it's the fires. Put all the puzzle pieces together, my friend. It's all biblical and it is all prophetic. For every soul that calls upon the name of the Lord in humility and repentance will receive salvation.
Pardon me with all of the Bible thumping, you know what I mean? But people are gonna get in whatever bag that they're in right now, you know.
Forgiveness for their sins, for the person who does not just claim Jesus as Lord, but makes him Lord of their life. That person who follows Jesus according to his word. That person who obeys, who submits to the righteousness in Christ, not just a feeling.
I can't. This nigga's out here doing a whole fucking sermon about earthquakes. I just can't. No disrespect to you. I can't. Let's go to my dude, the prophet. Let's hear what he got to say.
Se cumplió nuevamente su profecía. Tembló en Colombia. Usted predijo lo de Venezuela, sucedió. Predijo lo de Colombia y tembló en Colombia esta mañana. Don Simón, usted...
Hermanos, mira, recuerde que es Jesucristo que habla por mí. Yo solo soy un instrumento. Yo vengo y me paro aquí y hablo, es porque Él habla por mí. Yo soy, como dice en su palabra, un siervo inútil, que solo hago lo que Él me dice que haga. Ese es el siervo inútil. Él es mi patrón y Él me dice, haz esto, haz lo otro, di lo otro, pero Él es el que habla por mí. Recuerden, antioqueños, colombianos, mundo entero, viene tragedia para el mundo. Prepárese, porque lo de hoy es y para el...
My nigga, I thought we had Telemundo. I thought we had a translator. Bro, what were you talking about? The fuck? What are you talking about? I did have an English clip with Simon. That nigga he know English too. Don't let him fool you with all of that Spanish talk. He do know English. He's just playing for the camera.
In the last 2 months, and it has a lot of people thinking, what the hell is going on? This has never happened before. We don't usually get major earthquake after major earthquake. The one in Colombia that just happened 5 days after the other major earthquake. They're becoming way more frequent. So let's look at this together and you tell me what you think's going on. April 1st, there was a major 7.4 deep offshore subduction quake in Indonesia. It decimated the island communities across the Molucca Sea. April 20th, just 19 days later, Japan is hit with a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. This triggers a tsunami warning. June 7th, the Philippines is hit with a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. This one's massive. Deadliest Asian event of 2026 so far. Massive structural damage. June 24th, Venezuela is hit with 2 earthquakes in 30 seconds of each other. A 7.2 magnitude followed by a 7.5 magnitude right afterwards. Causes huge amounts of death and destruction. 6,300 plus dead.
Remember, Venezuela was the twin earthquakes, which is an anomaly. A twin earthquake back to back. That doesn't necessarily happen. You have aftershocks. That was not an aftershock. Those were 2 separate earthquakes. Okay? Fuck is going on underneath your feet.
July 17th, Mexico is hit with a 7.3 magnitude earthquake. Huge amount of destruction, minor tsunami waves on the coast. July 28th, Japan again is hit with another major earthquake, a 7.1 magnitude. This time it hit Kyushu. Severe building collapses, landslides, over 30 fatalities. And then August 5th, the Philippines is hit again with another earthquake of 6.3 magnitude, just a few weeks after the 7.8 magnitude that they just had. And then we've just had this last one in Colombia. August 10th, 7.4 magnitude. Over 130 deaths so far. Massive destruction.
Why that shit not hitting Europe though? Fucking Switzerland and what Belgium and you know what I mean? Like where's the European earthquakes? I'm just saying. Like is this shit not spreading out? They don't got no fault lines. All right. So let's get into because I brought up all of this earthquake thing because it is inspiring the end of times rapture amongst the Bible thumpers, right? They are literally in their bag to whereas they are mentally, right, pushing this end of times type of thing where they are preparing for the return of their Messiah on all the Abrahamic fronts and whatnot. They're utilizing these occurrences and whatnot to embolden their claims that the end of times is upon us, right? That we are living in what is known as the rapture, that we are living in end times. That ultimately is creating a clash. There's a clash taking place. This clash that's taking place is becoming very much more apparent these days than it has over the course of the last 20 some odd years that I've been in consciousness, right? There's always been this dichotomy with the Bible thumpers and people that were in religions, henceforth, why you have the rise of the debates in Harlem and whatnot. That was based off of religion. They were debating the Hebrew Israelites, they were debating Christians, they were debating Islam, Imam Bashir, ISUPK, Hashar, all of that was dealing. The debates did not start out is God left-handed. You know what I mean? Does God have a cheetah claws? You know what I mean? Is the black woman God? No, that was a little bit later. It ultimately was about religion and the clash of religion and consciousness that created this quote unquote schism, that created this quote unquote fracture, that created these wars, right? Because remember, war is about ideas and concepts, right? We see physical war as the only means of war. That is not what war is. When it gets physical, that's the last level of war. War starts out in the spiritual realm, then it goes into the mental realm, then it goes into the intellectual. There's something called intellectual warfare, right? Intellectual warfare is even more dominant than quote unquote the gross form of physical warfare. That's when all else fails. That's the most savage form of warfare. You feel me? So when you're debating, you're engaged in intellectual warfare. When you decide that you want to go on a path of righteousness and you want to get into your walk and your path and quote unquote, you may have signed up to go to war because you're around people who are not walking the same walk that you walk. They don't have the same ideas and concepts that you have. You've literally stepped outside of the box. You're drawing outside of the line. You're a fucking op. You're an op. You might not be an op when you look in the mirror. You don't see yourself as an op, but people in your household might see you as an op. People at your job might see you as an op. Your loved one might see you as an op. Motherfuckers who grew up a certain type of way to think a certain type of way, they may see you as an op. You step out, you wearing crystals and nigga, you wearing gemstones and crystals and onks and wood and shit like that. You know what I mean? You're not wearing the prescribed Jesus piece. You're not wearing Mosanites and whatnot. You're not wearing the prescribed lab diamonds and shit like that. You're not wearing slum jewelry from the fucking Jewish and the Russians and whatnot. You're not wearing tinfoil. Yeah, you're an op. The people are going to see you as a threat. They had the fucking nerve to call crystals demonic. Nigga, what? A fucking crystal is demonic now? Okay. So yeah, these things are coming to a head, and they're coming to a head on big platforms for all to see and for all to witness. So this is the newest rollout of the debates. This is the newest rollouts of what we call intellectual warfare. And this warfare is literally snatching up souls. people's souls are at stake right now, because there's going to be people who are going to watch these debates the same way that they watched the debates in Harlem through HOK, and they made life choices based off of the results of these debates. Some people was like, yo, I'm dropping my cross. Yo, I'm cutting my hair, big chop. I'm cutting the weave off. I'm growing an afro. Yo, I'm leaving my loved ones. Yo, I'm leaving the house and whatnot. That what was happening. I saw a lot of that. People were literally coming to 125th Street with their belongings in the motherfucking trunk of their car, talking about, yo, I left my whole family. Hotep. I'm like, nigga, no tep. You better fuck you think. What do you think? Is there a shelter for the, you know what I mean? We don't have a Professor Xavier School for X-Men in Harlem, fam. Who told you to do that? But people literally was going on a hero's journey. They literally was walking away from relationships, friendships, jobs, and whatnot, based off of the results of the intellectual warfare that they were witnessing and whatnot. Facts, right? So now it's going on and it's going down online between Black women specifically. The sisters, the daughters are cooking. All right, the daughters are cooking. Facts.
Even further, what was the reason, not just for the tree, but for Satan? Because God is this all-knowing being, right? We were talking about love at the beginning, and I've been thinking about that since you said it. God is this all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere being, right? Omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. So I'm thinking, with the ability to love at the magnitude greater than I, with the love that I would have never created that tree in the Garden of Eden, because I don't feel that there was a need. Because if the goal is for them to be in fellowship with me, then I'm just going to have them in fellowship with me. Because if you are going to smite and kill and burn in hell everybody that does not choose you for not having chose you, even the people that the word never made it to the four corners of the earth for them to have even known God, they're going to burn in hell. Then
that's not what the Bible teaches. No, it doesn't teach that. Acts 17 verses 26 and 27 says that God has created from one man every nation and given them their pre-appointed boundaries, times, and dwelling places, with the hopes that they would grow for him, though he is not far from any one of them. That's if we're going to stick to scripture, we have to interpret it with scripture. And essentially it's saying that God knew that somebody would be born in India. God knew somebody would be born 1,500 years ago, but he's not far from any one of them. Obviously God has appeared to people even in scripture through dreams, through visions. He's appeared through
know that the gods that they serve in India and other places, that is not how God appeared to them then.
If God can make himself known, if somebody comes in my likeness,
I think it's important, Jasmine, because you don't hold scripture to be authoritative, and you want to infer it through, your philosophical perspective. That we stick to the prompt, which is freedom of will, and respectfully, I just don't like debating scripture with people who don't believe in my Bible. So we can put that on the table for now, because we only have 10 minutes left. But I did want to say to the point of, why did God put the tree in the garden? God put the tree in the garden because the tree in the garden is an extension of Adam and Eve's autonomy. It is their ability to function as moral agents. It's the same reason he created Satan. He didn't create evil. He created autonomous angels who would choose who they would serve. The end goal, yes, is fellowship, but it's not inauthentic fellowship. It's not fellowship that has already been pre-constructed and preordained, and the outcome is this one worldview. In order to have freedom, there needs to be two different worldviews for somebody to choose from. We've already demonstrated that Eve knew enough to even change the command that God gave to her or Adam. We've demonstrated that the garden is not a place where they were children, or that they were infants, or that where they did not have access to a God who knew everything. So therefore they could have asked him if they were wondering what it meant to be like God or to be evil, what the difference between good and evil was. So there really is no excuse for their behavior. Unfortunately, they chose that out of rebellion, like Chanasa has stated. And so because they chose that out of rebellion, there are consequences. Autonomy comes with consequences. If you choose to do something, there's a reaction to that reality. Does God want to be in relationship with all of us? Absolutely. But is his highest value relationship with people who are forced to choose him? Or is his highest value relationship with those that would choose him in spite of a different worldview, in spite of a different God, in spite of a serpent in the garden, in spite of being like God, in spite of coming for his throne? Right. Will they choose me? Okay. Or will they choose themselves?
I think if the goal, and this is as a former Christian, if the goal is to be able to explain, because one of the things my father always taught me is, if you can teach, you have to be able to teach to a 5-year-old, to a 15-year-old, to a 30-year-old, a 50-year-old, and an 80-year-old. So when you have non-believers that may be able to be converted back into the body of Christ, not like, I just want you to be in Jesus's body, not like that, but like when you are truly displaying love and you want somebody to understand, sometimes discussion is going to feel like a debate. I don't use the Bible as authority, but this is the conversation. The belief stems from the Bible. So because I was told not to lean to my own understanding from the Bible, so I am trying to use the context clues that I was taught in school to be able to decipher and understand the Bible. I am struggling to understand God's position and wanting, because you said that the angels were autonomous, but the way in which I've read it and the way in which I've been taught it is that free will was our gift. So I've been trying to understand and even if we have this free will, you said freedom requires two options, but one of those options does not have to be an option that has a negative consequence.
It does, because then we're living in a simulation. God has essentially created a simulation where he has predetermined the outcome that everybody chooses.
He's predetermined. If that means he's predetermined and we live in a simulation, then him being all knowing and creating this world anyways, because he knew the end of the world before the beginning of it, then he would know who all would choose him and who wouldn't. So then the free will,
that doesn't impede on their choice to choose him. That's just him knowing. That's his omniscience.
I want to say
he created knowing all of this already. So he still put it into motion knowing how it would end. So that is predetermined because he is the creator of all things. Even with the choice that he gave you, he knew the choice that you would choose.
Right. I want to say two things.
The sister on the left, that's Sister Jasmine right there. And she's been the one who's appointed to baptize these Christians in fire. Cause she's been cooking all up and down my timeline. I wasn't that familiar with Sister Jasmine, but I am now. Okay. I love her poise, but don't take that poise for granted because I've seen videos where she's been in her mother effing bag cooking. You know what I mean? She decides when to bring it out, but she's been serving, you know what I mean? I seen her serve Amanda Seals a cold plate of kick ass. She's been serving. Let's just say that, you know what I mean? And she's these Bible thumpers. They've been getting pretty embarrassed, I would say. You know what I mean? She's been cooking the shit out of them. And kind of like highlighting some of the hypocrisy that has taken hold of specifically black women and the younger black women, right? The ones who inherited the lie, the ones who have inherited the myths of this religion, the ones who have picked up where their grandmothers and their aunties left off and whatnot. She has been she been straightening them. She been giving them straightening. Let's just say that. There's a 20v1 debate with her and Christian women, and they've been saying that she dog walked them. That's what the internet has said. Let me see if I could get you another clip of the sister and her demonstrations and whatnot. But yeah, it highlighted to me when I was watching the debate just how far gone our women may be. The ones who have completely, taken up the mantle of this quote unquote white inferiority mind state, right? This compromise quote unquote book, right? Taking nothing away from the religion that some people practice and whatnot, because it's not a monolith in a sense. I'm not shaming anybody for practicing their religion. That's my disclaimer. I am not a religious person. However, I do have my biasness. I do have my biasness. I'm not going to sit up here and hide my hand and whatnot. I do have certain biasness when it comes to organized religion and whatnot. But yeah, may the best person win in this debate.
There was another one in which the end of her argument felt like the flesh started to rise up.
But shout out to my sisters that are out here that are brujas. Shout out to the sisters that are spiritualists. There are a lot to be said about both parties. But it feels good to see y'all in a positive light. It feels good to see y'all in an intellectual light. It feels good to see one of you and sitting on a platform and articulating yourself, standing in your truth, standing in your quote unquote standing in your purpose, right? And getting the other daughters and the other sisters some type of information, not what you may receive on the internet. You feel me? Not that type of and real life information, like real living, breathing information, being able to answer questions, being able to articulate what your religion is about or your practices, things of that nature. So shout out to the sisters, because I identify I am you. You know what I mean? We are one. You feel me? Outside of, we got. We all we got. I would pick a spiritual woman over a religious woman any effing day of the motherfucking week. You know what I mean? Because and that's not to say that there's everything is peachy cream and everything is 1,000 when it comes to that. There's work to be done on that end, but that's where my heart is at. My heart is at with the women who broke out of this plantation and they're roaming free and whatnot, and they have an open mind, an open heart, and they've activated their powers. Feel me? They've activated their powers. You could do a lot for both yourself. You could do a lot to help our people. You could do a lot for the next generation, the women who may not have reached that level of maturity, right? Because at the end of the day, there's grandmothers out here raising babies and they're highly religious, and I'll never in my life fix myself to talk crazy about them. I'm just not going to do it. I see the power of them as well. I acknowledge them as well. There's aunties out here holding shit down, taking care of things. There's mothers out here that read that Bible and pray over their children and clothe them and cloak them and protect them. There's people on these lines whose mamas was highly religious. So I am not that full of myself and so cocky and arrogant that I will get on this platform and disrespect nobody's peoples. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. All I'm saying is we're not a monolith. Okay. And all I'm saying is there are levels to this shit. And all I'm saying is, everybody, we got to meet people where they're at. I'm speaking more so about the ones who try to speak down on spirituality. They call us demons and devils, and they have prayer circles against us, and they call us, lost and all of these things. All I'm saying is, y'all deserve to be debated, but not debated not debated in the sense of how the debates used to go. I would prefer to see you debated the way that I've been seeing these recent debates go. All three of those different debate platforms that I called out, they all have different approaches and whatnot. However, those debate platforms are set up to where the people who are debating could walk away respectfully, right? Without hate, without hurt, without feeling embarrassed, without wanting to jump off a roof and whatnot. Nah, they're being done, in my humble opinion, based off of what I've seen. There's still comedy in it. There's profanity. There's all of that is in there in these debates and whatnot. But it's more effective than the shit that I'm used to. I just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I just leave it at that. But let's go.
There are so many examples within this debate that cover the basis of why people have deconstructed and issues within our community that we've had a hard time to address. Thank God for this video, because I think we plainly see what's been holding Black culture back and what's been holding back progress. Now, that's against capitalism and white supremacy and all that, yes, but even in-house within our own communities, we have this issue.
So you mentioned not giving God a pass for slavery. I'm Black too. I don't think slavery was right at all. And you said giving God a pass. But do you think God is giving those men and the ideologies in the system
Waiting till they get to heaven or waiting to get to hell? Yes, I think that's giving
He's
him a
storing
pass.
up wrath for the day of judgment. God he's merciful and he's just, right? God is going to avenge us, right? So in a Christian perspective, it's better that we wait, that God wait.
More than half of the women that participated in the Jasmine versus 20 Christians debate were Black women. More than half were Black women. God's not giving these oppressors a pass. He's just waiting to boil this energy up for a big day. what? And highlighting black women when they come to defending this faith, there's one thing that kept happening that I do want to highlight as well.
But God is not a man that he shall lie, and he's without a shadow of a turning. And we see his character, not just his word and what's explicitly written in the truth in the text, but you see his character revealed. And God has a lot of human characteristics. God is a jealous God. How human of him. Right. Why do you need to be jealous as a God? You have all real quick. Why are we God's failed representation of self-love? Because having to create us to have somebody that can come back and revalidate that you are good just seems really, really stupid from a non-believer standpoint. And then it's not a man that he shall lie. Character never changes. So you saying that you saw God and didn't find him, I would say keep seeking. And I'm not saying that you didn't seek enough, but it says seek me and you shall find me when you seek me with all your heart. And I did. And I'll leave it at that.
I didn't know you could end debates with I'll leave it at that, but wow. I think it's very interesting to repeat a scripture that is referring to God as a man, saying that he wouldn't lie over and over. But he's jealous though. And this opens up another can of black women in Christianity Williams that we just don't have enough time for. But you can see, can y'all see it? It's so, my God.
My humble opinion, this demonstration, this one specifically, the 20v1, is going to grow into something because black women are going to they're not going to let that one go. But something is going to come out of that. Trust me when I tell you. The fact that black women are now publicly questioning Christianity and standing in their faith and standing tall in their quote unquote their religion or their practices, whether it's African traditional religions or if they're just on some atheist shit or if they're just like leaning heavily into their spirituality as a form of growth and development. Yes, this conversation is very needed. It is very needed. I didn't realize how detrimental, how deep this shit was with our women and whatnot until I started going down this rabbit hole, especially the young black women and whatnot, professional young black women, women with positions and whatnot, women who are very successful in the system of white inferiority and whatnot, right? The this subliminal subconscious worshiping and adherence and submission to not just white Jesus but to white culture as a result of white Jesus, as a result of what their compromised pastors and their compromised congregations and their compromised religions by way of the preachers and the pastors and the deacons and whatnot, mostly like Schofield Bible type shit, evangelical tampering, where they have our people docile and they have our women, quote unquote, subservient, where they're serving the system and not necessarily taking back their power, reclaiming their power. They're just basically going along to get along. Yeah, that shit is getting disrupted in real time. Okay. And it has to be. And nobody can do it but another black woman. It will never come from a black man. Is not going to come from a white man, a white woman. This is something that black women is going to have to dismantle, and they're going to have to they're going to be successful dismantling it through intellectualism, through quote unquote theology, being able to have theological quote unquote intellect to debate and to unravel and to show and to hold mirrors up and to just basically stand in facts, well-oiled research, not speculation, not that shit that they're coming with, not belief, not what fuck what you think, fuck what you feel and fuck what you think. That's not what we're here for. We're here for truths and whatnot. You feel me? Get all of that shit out the way. Oh, you're a demon. Oh, you believe in this and you're Satanist and yeah, get it all out. Put it all on the table and whatnot. And then let's deal with it. And then right after that, because Africa is looking, the Caribbean is looking and whatnot, they need to get cleaned up. Okay? They need to get cleaned up because I'm really beginning to see where the fucking psychosis is really emanating from and whatnot. They need to get cleaned up on the continent, right? Because the shit that they're doing with these white Jesus, this worship going on with Caesar Bourgeois, yeah, they're watching though, because they watch everything that we do. They watch everything that we do. Okay. So as they watch, they need to get it too. They need to get They need to get cleaned up with some girls with UK accents and whatnot that have been doing. And the reason why the lady Jasmine is impressing me is because it's obvious that she is not just an adherent of her quote unquote system and whatnot. She's well studied and whatnot. So there's nothing more attractive to me than a well studied black woman who knows what they're talking about and who is living what it is that they're preaching. You feel me? There's really nothing that you can do with them. Okay. So as they continue to tear down, when they say, because when I see them talking about the patriarchy and everything, that's a code word for white old men that's running shit. I don't necessarily throw black men inside of what they call the patriarchy. The patriarchy, in my humble opinion, is just a nice way. It's just a stripped down version of saying white supremacy without having to say the word supremacy, because nobody in that equation is supreme. Okay, but to attack but to dismantle white patriarchy, I am sorry, Caesar gotta go. Give back to Caesar what is his. That's not yours. Give it back to Caesar. Give it back to Caesar. That ain't your shit, and you can't get power from it. Yeah, you could draw something from it. You could pay bills and shit from it. But what if that power that you're drawing from that's helping you manifest bill money and all of these things? Oh, Jesus done help me with all of that. Well, shit, nigga, demons pay bills too. Fuck. What you talking about? Nigga, demons pay bills too. What are we talking about? Money is material, nigga. Demons and entities and archons, they can help you pay your bills. The fuck? They can help you get a job. God damn it. You think the only person that can help you pay a fucking bill is Jesus? So you may be dealing with entities that you know nothing of and whatnot, and they are crypto Christians. You know what I mean? Crypto. And I'm not talking Bitcoin, nigga. Crypto as in hidden, right? You may be dealing with Beelzebub in them. You might be dealing with Beelzebub and people of that like. So be very careful as to where you're putting your energy. So now that we talk about these debates, let's go into another debate that took place between Candace Owens and this white man where she dog walked his ass. Okay? I'm kind of liking to see our women in these spaces doing what they do on an intellectual in an intellectual light. I'm opposed to seeing our women in other type of lights, right? But that's none of my business, right? Because I'm a man. I don't have no big say in that. I could only say what I co-sign and what I don't. I would rather see our women in this light of debating and being intellectuals and whatnot, having poise, you feel me, sniping, hitting shit upside the head and whatnot, you know, utilizing their beauty, utilizing their quote unquote sensuality and whatnot to whoop some ass. I like that. You know what I'm talking about? I wish Young Miami was a debater. You know what I mean? Because this is what our women are supporting right now.
I wanted to believe maybe it was a slip of the tongue, but I said, who the hell slips up and says some shit like that? But
When is
after
this
what
going
I
to get
found,
debated?
that was no damn slip of the tongue. Y'all can support anyone you want, but what you can't do is go through this world and act like you're ignorant. You are the mothers of the earth. You have children. And Saucy Santana did not make any mistake when he said that kids liked him as well. Because in these comments, when he said it, people wrote kids, not the kids, not the kids. And this was his response.
Everybody want to fuck me, bitch. You see this ass?
Nah, we might catch his ass. Not over here.
What happened? Wait, the security guy?
He doubled down that yes, he meant kids. Everybody, the kids included, doubled down. And if people remember this incident in the pool, there was a mother that said that her child, I believe her son, had been touched. These creeps are being revealed right before our eyes, these straight counterfeits. The Bible says these people come in sheep's clothing, but they are wolves inside. Do you understand that? They come like sheep's clothing, laughing, funny, make you feel all good. Whole time they're wolves inside. They want your damn sons. These people are being revealed for you all to do something about it. Those of you that choose not to, the next time you see a little boy or a little black girl being assaulted out in these streets or in the news, don't say a damn thing because you love them.
Can I say something about this situation? There's a couple of things, and I've said this once. Y'all keep getting on social media disrespecting her. Y'all keep wanting to talk about her. Y'all keep calling her slow. Say if she was slow. Y'all bullying a slow person. So that makes y'all look like a big ass bully and y'all lack maturity and growth. The fact that this girl ain't did shit wrong but deal with a man who left his wife and his wife got a whole boyfriend, it does not make sense to me. The way that black women are on social media disrespecting this girl, talking about her attire, the way that y'all... And y'all wonder why people don't respect black women. How the fuck can I ever respect black women when y'all disrespect one of your own for no fucking reason? The reason that y'all are giving don't give no fucking, it don't make no logical sense because she has a boyfriend. Y'all act like she's chasing behind Pat Booth. Y'all act like she want the man. The man wasn't even being loyal to her while she was locked up based off what I've heard. Based off what I've heard and I've read in certain instances, that shit was already fucked up in the very beginning. That girl, y'all just don't like her because she's not the perfect image of what y'all would want to be. Y'all are the kids that will be in high school, middle school, and y'all will bully the person who y'all think is less likely to do anything about it, but she can beat y'all ass and y'all still bully her. And that's the crazy part about it. It does not make no sense. And y'all don't say a fucking thing about anything. That Remy Ma literally paid money. She paid all of these women to bully. Hold on. Miss Onika, did she not just come out on a podcast and say that she spent her whole entire budget to literally try to take down Nicki Minaj with a bunch of women that don't even choose her today? It makes no sense. The shit that y'all be paying attention to shows why the kids are slow, why the kids can't read, why the kids are disrespectful. It's the fucking adults. Y'all are fucking slow. Oh my God. Y'all want to hate this girl so bad because she don't give a fuck about none of y'all. She don't care. I don't understand why y'all hate her so bad. Oh, well, she's slow. So you gonna bully a slow person? Have you asked what have she been through for her to even... Y'all don't care about people. There's something wrong with a lot of people in the black community. Because the moment that I see a non-black person being disrespectful, you will get cussed the fuck out. But the fact that black women are the ones bullying her, there's an old-ass black man always posting content about her, I find it fucking weird.
Today, let's start with this video first.
I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write. I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning if it's talking to their homeboy, but applying that to a written text, 2 paragraphs, they couldn't do it. Our young black men, our young brown men, our young black girls, and our young brown girls.
So basically, he's talking about how these minority kids cannot read 2 paragraphs or write 1 sentence. This is a real issue, what we should talking about, right? These are the black and brown schools at the bottom of the system, that the ones that got written off years ago. Texas used a legal excuse to seize the entire district and hand it over to an appointed manager who actually worship AI. And that is what's get done to minority communities. The people who runs and control things keep the real education for their children, for their own children, and handed everybody else the cheap version. And then they blame the minority falling behind. Whether it's minority or not, it is understandable that uneducated parents and uneducated community ended up raising uneducated children. That cycle is real, which is exactly why it's on the government to pull resources into poor neighborhood to pull these kids out of the mud. Yet the government is not doing that. Why? Because it's on purpose. It's the capitalist class need a certain amount of uneducated labor, a supply of people with no way out to keep the machine running, and they need a good amount of supply of slave for the machine. And you are their target. People, the family, the children in this situation needs to understand that. The only way out is knowledge. Knowledge is a weapon. If you cannot read, you cannot fight back. You cannot organize. You cannot even see how you are being used. And that is the point. They want you to keep you poorly educated. If you cannot read and write, you are always going to be that good slave that they want you to be. The only way to break the chain is knowledge. And that is the fact. That's why when you look at the Chinese culture, the Asian families, we treat knowledge as the only way out. It is sad to see what's happening in the United States right now. We have more contents like this on Substack.
Isn't really about plagiarism, and it's not really about academia. It's about something much bigger. Jason Arde made history as the youngest black professor at Cambridge University. His life story inspired millions. Then everything changed. Allegations surfaced questioning parts of his academic work. Reporters dug through years of interviews. Commentators questioned his accomplishments. Social media turned into a courtroom. Every claim he'd ever made became subject to investigation. The weight of the public scrutiny became unbearable. Days after resigning from Cambridge, and just days after releasing his memoir, Jason Arde was found dead at just 41 years old. Authorities have said his death is being treated as unexpected and not currently believed to be suspicious. It's okay to demand accountability. It's okay to investigate facts, but somewhere along the way we have to ask ourselves, at what point does accountability become public destruction? The internet has become incredibly good at finding mistakes. I'm not sure if we've become equally good at remembering there's still a human on the other side of that screen. Sometimes the punishment extends far beyond the accusation, and that's something all of us should think about before we hit post. Like, share, subscribe if you rock with the content, and as always, paid subscriptions are greatly appreciated.
Damn. I guess it was no sound for a reason because I was just going to fuck off. Listen, I'm not cool. I'm not cool with this quote unquote report about the children not being able to read. And this is not anything that's new. They've been saying this for damn near decades now. What I do know and what I can say is that a lot of these schools are outdated. The educational systems in these schools are outdated. The curriculums are outdated. The textbooks were coming from goddamn Robert Maxwell. The children who came here, their spirits will tell them that the public school system is not for them. And I understand, I'm not making excuses and whatnot, but I really feel our community should not just brush that off and act like that is not a major issue. This should be quote unquote addressed or dealt with or even problem solved, because those amongst us who could come up with a solution and who could find a solution and who could quote unquote fill that type of void and help our children, they have that will benefit you immensely in the future. We as parents and we as Black people who are intelligent, it should be a 24/7 mission of ours to bring literacy to our youth and whatnot, because reading is definitely fundamental. Imagination is better than donation. The best nation is imagination. However, we should be able to comprehend. We should be able to decipher and discern. And if you don't have your faculties in order, it is definitely going to prohibit you, right? I'm not the biggest fan of the public education system. That is not, I will not. I'm more so a champion of homeschoolers. I am also a champion of Black scholars and intellects taking control of our children's education, whether it's after school, whether we put together summer programs, or we just go ahead and completely uphaul and we create a form of homeschooling where we build a system, right, that stretches across the quote unquote diaspora. We start with the 50 states and we bring this thing outside of the USA, because these children, they need that. They need that. Okay. So, left in the hands of these demons, left in the hands of these people who inherently hate the children, left in the hands of these demonic quote unquote liberals, yeah, shit is always going to go bad. Milk is always going to go bad. You feel me? The milk is always going to go bad. So, there's nothing to see here. It is what it is, nothing to see here. These people, they're not going to teach us nothing. That's not what they got hired for. They got hired to turn your goddamn child into a worker, a worker bee, or into the prison pipeline. That's really what these old small hats that was teaching the Goldsteins and the Weinbergs and all of them. They were teaching us and was smiling when they were talking about slavery, and they were smiling when they were talking about and they were telling us with a straight face, yeah, your people never they never added anything to American society. They were the ones who told us that we didn't have no culture. It started in the schools, right? That's where it started. So yeah, we need to revolt against that, and we need to take back the quote unquote. I feel that we should take back our children's education apparatus, their systems. Real talk. That shit is on our shoulders. That's on our shoulders and whatnot. You feel me? But these demons, look at what these demons is up to. Let's look at this. And once again, I'm just giving you the truth about what's going on in this wicked world. I'm just giving you what's going on in this wicked world. These are the
what a
people
baby looks like at 36 weeks. And Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey just eliminated the 24-week limit on abortions, which was already insane. And the woke mob is celebrating. In the second trimester, the baby is already kicking. And if you want an abortion, the procedure is out of a horror movie.
You know you did it right if you crush down on the instrument and white material.
That's why the propaganda of having a nigga up there crying, talking about black children can't read, this is where it becomes more dangerous. This is where it becomes propaganda. This is where it is going to be used to population reduce. This is where it's going to be used to say, yeah, black women, you don't need to have no children. They can't read anyway and whatnot. You might as well get rid of it. And in Massachusetts, you could get rid of the damn child up until the day before it's born. Like, this is what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why the fucking earth is shaking.
Runs out of the cervix. That was the baby's brains. And you could pull out skull pieces. And you have a day like I had a lot of times. Sometimes a little face comes back and stares back at you. Congratulations, you just successfully performed a second trimester D&E abortion. You just affirmed her right to choose.
So it's murder with no charge. But in the same states that have no limits on abortions, if you shoot and kill a pregnant mother, it's considered a double homicide. It doesn't even make sense. We're dealing with people that hate humanity. Just like Lindsey Graham had no problem sending your sons and daughters to fight and die for his wars because he didn't have children, Maura Healey has no problem with babies dying because she doesn't have children. Life comes on this earth for a reason, and it always deserves a chance.
Not all of them, but the ones that are really concerned with race are concerned about the fact that it's looking like America is
I don't know why that shit just did that. These people have a fear of us. There's an inherent fear that they have against our progeny. There's a fear that they have. In many of these states that they're legalizing, these are states that are having the Browning effect. What is the Browning effect? There's a lot of interracial births taking place. They are getting browned out and whatnot. So they are ramping up these quote unquote population control methods and whatnot through the food, through the Jabberwocky, through these state sanctioned murder facilities called Planned Parenthood. All of this shit is meant to stop the mutants from mutating.
no longer going to be majority white in the very near future. If that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. I don't really take any issue with it. My thing would be if America was no longer run by a majority of white people, who is the best people to be in charge of a new America? And my vote would be black Americans. See, what a lot of white people don't realize is black Americans being in charge of this country would be the best chance you got of still being treated fairly. Because if you notice, if you don't get your head all caught up in racist ideology, black folks are basically cool with white people. I know the media like to make us think we're caught up in this race war and all white white folks hate black folks and all black folks hate white folks. But for the most part, if you ask black folks how they feel about white folks, the general answer is usually like, I feel no type of way about them. They could do them as long as they don't affect me doing me. Truthfully, I could see if black folks were more prominent in positions of power, this has got to be one of the only groups of people who would want to get something for themselves without taking anything away from anybody else. And that's truthfully how I've always seen it to be. Black people don't want to ruin shit for anybody else. Black people don't want to take something over and exclude everybody else that wants a piece of the pie. For whatever they want to say, you know, generally in this day and age, black folks and white folks have the same opportunities, but there's always just this little bias against black folks in America. It'll never fully go away. It's not as heavy as it used to be, but it's still lightly there beneath the surface. I think if government was majority black, I think if more police in prominent cities were majority black, it'd be kind of like the way things are now, just reverse. You get pulled over driving while white, it'd be like, it's cool, I can see that you're white, you were going over the speed limit. Cooperate with us, everything's gonna be straight. You give them an attitude, you move erratically, and then they start fucking you up, and then the white people are gonna be like, it's because I was white, and the black police are gonna be like, it's not because you're white, you're going over the speed limit, then you started acting threatening towards us. You see all these other white people that we left alone because they cooperated with us. I'm being lightly humorous, but I'm really not. There are other cultures that would turn America into another country, just out of faith to their own culture. They would want their culture to be the predominant culture in America. And aside from all these disagreements that stand between us, and the media exacerbating it so we always fight, black and white Americans are the most comparable in terms of American culture, and in fact, so much of black culture became American culture. If America could no longer be run by a majority of white folks, I think black folks would be the natural transition. Like I said, especially because when you look at black success, you really just don't see an aim to ruin anybody else's success, take anything away from anybody else. When black men and women achieve real success, you notice the less concerned they are with anything white people or any other culture has going on. They're like, dog, this is the American dream. I got something for me, and I worked hard for it. But so many other ethnicities and so many other cultures are much more concerned with a us versus them mentality. And if you have that in running a society, there's always going to be an imbalance.
So, once again, you know, he gets it, right? And everybody, I would say all white people get it, right? They could play dumb, but they understand who the inheritors, who the quote unquote heirs to the estate. They know who it is. They could play dumb. They made a career playing dumb in our faces, right? And it's only until lately have people been able to wake up and they like, bro, y'all playing in my face. Get the hell out my face. Stop playing in my face. We think we stupid. You feel me? This fear of a black planet, it is inevitable, right? There's literally nothing that they can do to stop that. So what should we be doing on our end? We should be doing everything within our powers to prepare our quote unquote, to prepare our progeny, to prepare our children, and to prepare our future to take the reins and whatnot. Okay? That is what we should be doing. We have to be prepared to rule. We should be prepared to quote unquote take the reins. That is what we should be doing. Outside of, you know, preparing people to, of course, be bosses, right? You know, to be entrepreneurial, right? To be industrious minded, right? Amongst other things, okay? This is something that they should be being reared and groomed to inherit, because all signs are showing you that whatever the hell they had is completely falling apart. It is completely falling apart. And there's nobody that could take the reins of power and skip the line before we get to grab it. Don't fall for the okie doke about, oh, they're at the bottom of the totem pole. What totem pole? Whose totem pole? The fuck you talking about? What totem pole? We are the totem pole. And then we got to deal with shit like this, right? That the reason why our children, it's an emergency. And when I say educate, look at us. Like, I'm not talking about educating. That when I say educate, I'm talking about educating knowledge of self. That's the education that I speak on, for the record. It's called knowledge of self. Man, know thyself. To me, that's been the most quote unquote liberating form of education. And on that path, I've met geniuses. I'm talking about geniuses who literally know everything. Okay. And everybody else that's outside of that path, they're only outside of it at arm's reach. I could impress a genius in a few minutes by having a regular conversation of all races, nationalities, backgrounds, and creeds. Because when they encounter a melanated man or woman who knows themselves, who has whenever they come across a melanated person who can articulate themselves and who knows themselves, then they are willing to work with you. Okay. They are more susceptible to work with you than to work against you, versus if they come across you and you don't even know how to talk. You don't even know how to articulate yourself. You don't even know how to think. You don't even know what to ask for. I'm a global citizen. I don't know about you. I don't know about nobody else. I know that I got to move around this whole entire world. So I'm going to have to face every single type of person in this world. I got to be prepared to stand in front of anybody on this goddamn planet. I don't give a damn who they are. You could drop me anywhere on this planet. I'm going to be able to hold my own because I have my mind intact. I know who I am. So when I'm talking about reprogramming the children, when I'm talking about reprogramming, because learning is one thing, right? It's about unlearning. I heard 19 Keys say this on Monday at his masterclass. The real shit is how to unlearn. You could learn all day, but if you don't unlearn the bullshit that they programmed you with, then what are you talking about? You're not operating. Your operating system is going to be compromised. You're still pulling from old ass files that are irrelevant. Your perception of what the fuck you see is going to be different than what somebody standing right next to you sees if they were able to deprogram themselves, to unlearn some shit. You got to unlearn. Give back to Caesar what is theirs. What does that mean? That means you got to unlearn this shit. You got to forget this shit like you forgot that deuce that you slept with 3 a.m. on a drunk night type shit. Yeah. Who are you again? What's your name? Yeah, you got to unlearn the bullshit that you've been learning from Jerry Springer. You got to unlearn the bullshit that you've been learning from the feminazis. You got to unlearn the bullshit that the fucking preacher and the pastor and the people at Sunday school was teaching you. Unlearn that shit. It's not serving you. Okay? Find yourself, know thyself, and on that path, you're going to get information that's more pure, more cleaner, and more beneficial to you than that shit that you was holding on to. We all got to grow. There's a lot of things I need to unlearn. I'm not fully, I'm still in the oven. I'm still cooking. You feel me? I'm still baking and whatnot. And I'm letting go of things. I'm detaching from things. I'm literally willing to change in mid-flight. The red pill that's before you right now is not the same person from 125th Street. I was having to unlearn some things. Real talk. There was some things that I would die. I would die on hills. There were certain things that I stood on, and I had to let that shit go in order to leave room so I could get poured into, right? You have to empty the vessel sometimes, because if it's still filled up like a septic tank, how could you get the clean water? Man, I'm literally detoxing. I've been detoxing since like January, bro. I've been detoxing. So I'm letting go of things inside of me. I'm letting go of things inside of my mind. I'm trying my best to let go shit inside of my subconscious. I'm doing plant-based medicine journeys and retreats and all type of shit. All of these things are to unlearn shit and to heal and to change my mind, my subconscious mind, because I know that sometimes I had sick thoughts and shit that was in my mind that was not me. That's parasites. That's parasites. Yeah, you got to hack the hard drive. So I'm like, yo, these children, they got to unlearn drill culture. They got to unlearn Chief Keef. They got to unlearn a lot of things, man. That's what they should be unlearning. They should be unlearning, that nigga shit. That nigga shit is like fertilizer, right? I'm never gonna say we've outrightly denounced nigga shit. Nigga shit is a fertilizer. You understand? It's the outpost that things grow from. It's not always detrimental, only if you survive it. Because if you don't survive it, it's very detrimental. But it's a fertilizer. Things grow out of nigga shit. Things grow out of the deaf culture. Granted. But there comes a time when we got to change the topsoil. That's all I'm saying. With the youth, yeah, we got to unlearn pork. You feel me? When I lived with my dad and my stepmother, I was like in my teenager years, I would fuck some bacon up. Let's be clear. And I knew about Staffel. I knew about Salam Alaikum and all of that. I would fuck some bacon up. You know what I'm saying? But then I took my shahada and I had to let it go. Okay? It's just certain things. We just got to unlearn. It's not going to hurt. We don't lose anything in the process. But we inherently, you inherently know. I might unlearn some things that you might still need to hold on to. You might unlearn some things that I might not have to unlearn. We all have different journeys. We all was reared. We all have different walks in life. But one of the main things that we can all agree with is that we got to unlearn that this white man is superior. I am sorry. I don't mean to burst nobody's bubble, but he is not superior and we're not equal. There's a difference. No disrespect. No slight of under. I'm not giving the slight of. I'm not trying to diss nobody. I'm not trying to be racist or whatever you want to give me a title. We're just not the same. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, the ISIS papers, and a plethora. Dr. Africa, with his writings, there's a plethora of books and research that goes beyond speculation. It touches on theorem. If you can't show me that you was on this planet 1,000,000 years ago, how the hell are we the same? I could show you where we was at. I could show you proof of our existence. I could show you that. I could show you our footprints. You can't show me yours. So this theory of being created as an experiment, right, in a lab, in the Yucatan Peninsula, the island of Patmos and things of that nature, that begins to entice me because I'm like, I'm gene splicing is real. Genetic cloning is real, right? Let's go to this right here. This brother right here, he's going to help us unlearn some things with the website that he built. Shout out to him, right? Check this out.
Bertram W. Korn, 1918 to 1979, was a senior rabbi at the Reformed congregation Knesset Israel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from 1949 to 1979. Rabbi Korn is the recognized Jewish expert on 19th century American Jews, having written and published 12 books primarily about Jews' history in the United States and several books related to the history of Jews in the South. He also served as president of the American Jewish Historical Society and held that position when it published his seminal paper, Jews and Negro Slavery in the Old South, 1789 to 1865. If we were to read one of Rabbi's speeches, let us begin.
Thank you, Dr. Quarles. It is a pleasure to be associated with you in the efforts to bring together what we know to try to evaluate what we don't know. In this work, in which I've been engaged for 25 years or more, I've had a lot of objections tossed at me on the part of Jews, scholars, and lay people, including my wife, who thinks it's best to sweep things under the rug. That the suggestion that any Jews owned any slaves or had anything to do with the slave trade is putting a gun in the hands of the enemy. This kind of attitude towards academic work is, to me, to say the least, regrettable. And I think that if we achieve anything in our meeting this week, we'll at least begin to come to an understanding of what the realities are. Jews are no enemies to misconceptions about themselves, and Jews are not immune to self-righteousness. And I thought you might be interested in these three quotations, with which the outline begins. Firstly, on the part of Harold Isaac in the New Yorker, quoted by the distinguished Horace Mann Bond. I have had the small but faintly consoling thought that my ancestors, whatever other sins they might have committed at the time, were sequestered in some Eastern European ghetto and could not have been among the slavers who waited out there on those ships. That may be true for Harold Isaac's ancestors, but many have been Eastern European Jews, and whatever Jews there were in the Western Hemisphere, for the most part, throughout the existence of slavery, were involved.
That's an aspect of this unlearning to relearn thing, because we were not taught this. They acted like anything that was trying to teach us these type of stories were haram. Imagine your Jewish teacher teaching you this. This did not happen, but they taught us about Schindler's List. They literally had us shedding tears in school about their plight, and come to find out that they had their people, or people who look, smell, and walk like them, probably has something to do with that. That's going back to this unlearn, relearn type of dichotomy that I speak of, right? So this man right here, the brother, right, who looks like the Afro ninja, right? He is the one who launched a website to house the Bibles that the individual, the man named Joe, who was unalived. I don't know who unalived him, but I know that he's unalive, right? What's this man's name? I'm sorry, and I really do. I'm not being facetious and whatnot. I just forgot his name. I do know that his nomenclature is, the first name is Joe, right? That's the guy with the white guy with the tattoos who said that he was uploading rare Bibles to the internet, and then right after that, poof, he's gone, right? This man right here, he was moved by that story, and he went and got those Bibles and uploaded them to the internet. If anybody has the website, please leave it in the chat so I could put it on the screen and whatnot. We got to protect the brother right here. He's a good brother, okay? He's a powerful brother. He's a good brother. And, I'm sure he could hold his own. But we can't leave our people just out here butt naked, man. Where are our security forces? Where's the security teams at? They could sit outside people's houses in a Denali, you know what I mean, and take some shifts and whatnot. Because we need people to be protected. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, but yeah, unlearn, relearn type shit. Let us continue. You said you need to read the book of Eli. Ooh. Let's take a break. We got a premiere. Premiere world. Premiere world. Premiere. We at the 2 hour and 30 mark. World. Premiere. World. All right, world premiere, ladies and gentlemen, off of this new Voltron album. How many of y'all have had the opportunity to get the album? I got in trouble for playing that shit mad loud in the house. They was upstairs. Turn that shit down. All right. Yeah, but I've been blasting the album. It sounds sonically superb. I'm talking about, and what is tonight? Saturday? I might pop a few. I might go into the ethers and then listen to it because I've been told that shit sounds majestic on the boomies and whatnot. It sounds otherworldly, like especially the Disclosure, the video I'm about to play. So this is not the main video. I'm just giving you an update. You're not gonna see main videos from this album probably until next month or two. What we're gonna be showing you is what is called vignettes. We're gonna be showing you the new form of videos, which is literally like, we shooting videos, right? But those videos that we shooting and whatnot, they're just like for the internet. Those are like placeholder video. They still videos, but they're not the official video, if you understand what I mean. Yeah, you gotta in this new realm that we're in. I'm learning as I'm going along, and I'm gonna be dedicating a lot of time into my artistry. I hope that nobody judges me for that. You know what I mean? That takes nothing away from my scholarship, but at the end of the day, the artistic side of me needs to breathe. If y'all could understand that, and I say that, I speak to y'all like this because I'm responsible. I'm just not gonna this nigga's a rapper now and he's doing music. And it's like, bro, I was doing music before I started doing this. You feel me? Music is my outlet. Music is I'm an artist at craft. I'm an original artist. Like literally, me and AA was on the phone last night. I'm even gonna I'm gonna put the album, I'm gonna draw the album cover with crayons. Y'all gonna get when the album when we do the vinyl, it's more than likely gonna be original artwork and whatnot. Like I'm an artist. That's what I do. You feel me? So music is an aspect of art because you write lyrics with your hands, right? And you write lyrics to paint pictures, right? So if you put a paintbrush in my hand, I'll paint a picture. If you put a pen in my hand, I'll write a story. If you put a pencil in my hand, I will write a rhyme. That's just the way that my hands work. You know what I'm talking about? So this right here is the promo video to what we call Disclosure, featuring me and Kambata. All right, the alien. And man, oh man. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Blue. Shout out to Father Rich. Shout out to Nick Price. And shout out to Just B. Shout out to everybody that has something to do with this quote unquote project. Okay. Shout out to everybody. Legends.
We the collectors of the art, the thinkers, the doers, the knowers, the architectures of the art. Triple dark moon protectors of the hearts. Triple dark mega yachts, 444 megawatts. Firm Biz, Nature, Foxy, AZ, Don, Escobar, moving megatons, mega bucks. 444 megatrons, they call mega bus. Went from Sega bus and a mega bus as we embark upon a hero's journey. Opening scene in Carlito's Way, laid out on a hero's gurney, staring off afar into the canopy of stars, unto Atlanta, me on Mars. Mama, my third eye active, captive. Seventh heaven opened up the third eye atlas on the third eye Thursdays. Voltron formed with bird's eye wordplay via the third eye persons in third grade. Revenge of the blurred days, the Vic Mensa, mixed with the elixir Serpenta. Welcome to the We We the collectors of the art, the thinkers, the doers, the knowers, the architectures of the arc. Triple dark moon protectors of the hearts. Triple dark mega yachts, 444 megawatts. Firm biz, nature, Foxy, AZ, Don, Escobar, moving megatons, mega bucks. 444 megatrons that call mega bus. Went from Sega bus and a mega bus as we embark upon a hero's journey. Opening scene in Carlito's Way, laid out on a hero's gurney. Staring off afar into the canopy of stars, until it landed me on Mars. Mama, my third eye active, captive. Seventh heaven opened up the third eye atlas. On the third eye Thursdays, Voltron formed with bird's eye wordplay. Via the third eye persons in third grade. Revenge of the blurred days, the Vic Mensa, mixed with the elixir serpenta. Welcome to the center of a mentor.
Got the gods excited as I'm strapped up in my captain's chair. Autopilot, spacecraft, I don't have to stare. Caught arriving, pass through natural air and crack the atmosphere. The daddy's here, them tinfoil hatters that were gathered there just clapped in chairs. Left the faculty at NASA scared. Donald Trump started acting weird, he just sat and stared. I hit up Billy Carson for a chat, we're galactic pairs. Grabbed the bear, acid in a chalice full of dragon tears. Cone-headed, 12-foot giant with a gold melon. Native suit, anti Christ at the Catholic fair. Universal soldier, the predator. You travel in the galaxy for challenges. You clash with me, I'll scrap you there. Warlord, I can smell the blood when the battle's near. I see the smoke from the disaster that happens after clear. Point.
Thursdays, Voltron formed with bird's eye wordplay. Via the third eye persons in third grade. Revenge of the blurred days, the Vic Mensa, mixed with the elixir serpenta. Welcome to the center of a mentor.
Got the gods excited as I'm strapped up in my captain's chair. Autopilot, spacecraft, I don't have to stare. Caught arriving, pass through natural air and crack the atmosphere. The daddy's here, them tinfoil hatters that were gathered there just clapped in chairs. Left the faculty at NASA scared. Donald Trump started acting weird, he just sat and stared. I hit up Billy Carson for a chat, we're galactic pairs. Grabbed the bear, acid in a chalice full of dragon tears. Cone-headed, 12-foot giant with a gold melon. Native suit, anti Christ at the Catholic fair. Universal soldier, the predator. You travel in the galaxy for challenges. You clash with me, I'll scrap you there. Warlord, I can smell the blood when the battle's near. I see the smoke from the disaster that happens after clear. Point, telepathic, empathic seer. I'll imagine atoms somewhere and then astral travel there. It's fact, I swear. Cross a billion light years in half a year. I'll teleport through different dimensions like after Alistair. Magic mirror, summon a ghost of the late Delbert Blair. Alistair, Broly, I sat in prayer, my dad appeared. Savage, I'll attack a bear, smack him bare. Handed claws, hit him with the paws like he acting queer. Split his jaw, crack a crown, lost a canine. Ain't no lassie hair. See the teeth flying out his mouth like some babonair. Catch a tooth, attach it to my staff, now I have a spare. Stab the bear, wait and pick the scab, then re-stab the bear. A lion heart, 3 eagle eyes, 2 rabbit ears. I like it dark, I see the sound waves that a bat would hear. Rather wear the fact that I have all its natural talents rare. Physical athletic abilities that I have compared. Bron as a cavalier, Shaq in his magic year. Kobe when he had the fro and Jordan when he had some hair. Vince Carter back on the Raptors when T-Mac was there. Iverson, why we still talking about practice here? Compared to you, Earth is a 3-dimensional massive sphere. Compared to me, Earth is a 2-dimensional flattened square. Oh my, look up in the sky. What's that up there? Not a comet. Rocks made of ice are not that aware. Not a drone. Anything else that was manufactured here. It's a craft, cleverly disguised like a mask I wear. Daddy's here, 3-eye atlas in your stratosphere. Galaxy to galaxy, I traffic and I rack a dare. Fuck Earth, all I see is fags and crack addicts here. Everyone's cursed. God is so mad that he had to swear.
This a movie. We coming to Atlanta. Album release for this thing right here. Y'all ready for that? We about to turn this shit the fuck up. Yeah, album release party in Atlanta. That part. Yeah, we coming home, baby. Album release party in Atlanta. Y'all ready for us? Y'all need to hear this shit in the club. This club music. This really stadium music, but we could start in the club. We could start in the club. Yeah, we got to run that back. Yeah, we got to rewind that. Yeah, get your roll up. It's Saturday, niggas. Saturday Night Live. Let's go.
We the collectors of the art, the thinkers, the doers, the knowers, the architectures of the arc. Triple dark moon protectors of the hearts. Triple dark mega yachts, 444 megawatts. Firm biz, nature, Foxy, AZ, Don Escobar, moving megatons, mega bucks. 444 megatrons, they call mega bus. Went from Sega bus and a mega bus as we embark upon a hero's journey. Opening scene in Carlito's Way, laid out on a hero's gurney, staring off afar into the canopy of stars, unto Atlanta, me on Mars. Mama, my third eye active, captive. Seventh heaven, open up the third eye atlas on the third eye Thursdays. Voltron form with bird's eye wordplay via the third eye persons in third grade. Revenge of the blurred days, the Vic Mensa, mixed with the elixir Serpenta. Welcome to the center of a mentor. Ugh.
Got the gods excited as I'm strapped up in my captain's chair. Autopilot, spacecraft, I don't have to stare. Caught arriving, pass through natural wear and crack the atmosphere. The daddy's here, and tinfoil hatters that were gathered there just clapped in chair. Left the faculty of NASA scared. Donald Trump started acting weird, he just sat and stared. I hit up Billy Carson for a chat, we're galactic pairs. Grab the bear, acid in a chalice full of dragon tears. Cone-headed, 12-foot giant with a gold melon. Native suit, ants-eyed Christ at the Catholics fair. Universal soldier, the predator. You travel in the galaxy for challenges. You clash with me, I'll scrap you there. Warlord, I can smell the blood when the battle's near. See the smoke from the disaster that happens after clear. Buoyant, telepathic, empathic seer. I'll imagine atoms somewhere and then astral travel there. It's fact, I swear. Cross 1 billion light years in half a year. I'll teleport through different dimensions like after Alistair. Magic mirror, summon the ghost of the late Delbert Blair. Alistair, Broly, I sat in prayer and my dad appeared. Savage, I'll attack a bear, smack a bear, handed claws, hit him with the paws like he acting queer. Split his jaw, crack a crown, lost a canine, ain't no lassie hair. See the teeth flying out his mouth like some babonaire. Catch a tooth, attach it to my stab, now I have a spare. Stab the bear, wait and pick the scab, then re-stab the bear. A lion heart, 3 eagle eyes, 2 rabbit ears. I like it dark, I see the sound waves that a bat would hear. Rather weird, the fact that I have all its natural talents rare. Physical athletic abilities that I have compared. Bron as a cavalier, Shaq in his magic year. Kobe when he had the fro and Jordan when he had some hair. Vince Carter back on the Raptors when T-Mac was there. Iverson, why we still talking about practice here? Compared to you, Earth is a 3-dimensional massive sphere. Compared to me, Earth is a 2-dimensional flattened square. Oh my, look up in the sky. What's that up there? It's not a comet. Rocks made of ice are not that aware. Not a drone. Anything else that was manufactured here. It's a craft, cleverly disguised like a mask I wear. Daddy's here, 3-eye atlas in your stratosphere. Galaxy to galaxy, I traffic and I rack a dare. Fuck Earth, all I see is fags and crack addicts here. Everyone's cursed, God is so mad that he had to swear. Say your last prayers, get your bags prepared. When my craft prepares, it means the revelation chapter's near. You gon' hear a blast and a flash of flare. Blinded, shining like the platinum that a rapper wears. Destroy Earth, leave, look back and cry happy tears. Watch the simulation crash and call Apple care. Out of gas, I stole it from the sun and caused plasma flare. Gotta say I, then hit me on the app, I got facts to share. Affluence. Then I hack and Palantir and clear the data there.
Altruism, unity, wholeness, precision, authentic love, harmony, healing, activation, tranquility, resilience, consistency, vitality, magnitude, chaos. The rightful ruler's back.
The rightful rulers is back. Go ahead and hit that QR code right there if you did not get that album. I promise you, and this is not, I'm not a salesman and whatnot. I don't be trying to sell people shit. But if you one of those people that was like, man, I don't know what's missing in the music. I'm just looking for something that could make me feel something. Or you one of those people that stop listening to hip hop, you stop listening to the radio, you are appalled by what you hear out there. Well, then this is the solution to that. If you're one of the people who you're a connoisseur of lyricism, lyrics, soundtracks, sound beds, sounds and whatnot, production. Yeah, this is for you right here. 12 tracks, and it's very, I won't say it's a mature album. You get the red energy, you get that blue energy, and then you get the balance with the Cambada energy. That's the best way to quote unquote describe what you're gonna get. You feel me? It's yeah, voltronalbum.com. Now to even put the cherry on the top of it, because once again, this is about celebrating life, right? As you could see, if I didn't do music, I would go crazy, right? Yeah, theta waves. Yeah. That's on a whole nother album, by the way. Theta waves is another project. We're gonna keep it coming and whatnot. We're just gonna keep it coming. I decided for 2026, I'm gonna be more focused on putting my art out there. My art is gonna live longer than me. My art is a representation of my artistry. Um, but I'm gonna be focusing a lot more on the sound wave frequency, because that is gonna be what's gonna get us around the world. That's going to open up doors. That is going to get me in the places that I need to be. You feel me? Through the arts and the sciences, of course. And when we show up with the art, we show up with the science. When we show up with the science, we show up with the art. But this right here is going to be our gift to the Atlanta community, or really the Atlantis community, because Atlantis has done so much for us, and they've given us so much quote unquote love, and they've been there for us. And this is where a lot of the this is where a lot of our we got history out here. You dig? We're gonna be doing our album release party in Atlanta on September the 13th. All right. And Atlantis Major is what we call it. Atlantis Major. We are going to be in the building, and we invite y'all to join us. Let me put the QR code so you could go ahead and grab your tickets. The tickets are live right now. All right. The tickets are live right now. I want y'all to be in the building for this. I want y'all to hear the music from the speakers and whatnot. I want y'all to feel it, you know what I mean, in your bones and whatnot. I want y'all to toast with us. We're gonna be popping champagne and we're gonna be toasting. I want y'all to roll one up with us and whatnot. That's not something that we're gonna be doing all the time. This is really very rare of us, but we definitely gonna be outside on September the 13th in the ATL. Shout out to Source Guard. There's going to be the Atlantis block party on 9/11. We're going to have a writers camp that weekend as well. We're going to be working on volume 2 that weekend in the writers camp. So if you know better, you're going to do better. All roads lead to the ATL for the weekend, or the strong end of quote unquote 9/11, right? Yeah, we got a few of these posters. I start going stupid. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing y'all. This is gonna be major. Rich made that beat. That beat is made by Father Rich, aka Black Magic 363. He made that last beat that you heard. He went stupid on that. So yeah, when you see him, let him know how crazy that shit sounds. But yeah, these posters, we're gonna be signing these posters. We're gonna have these posters blown up and whatnot. But we also gonna have somebody said the album deserves a comic book. Yeah, all poster variants are for sale. All of this is gonna be animated. Y'all do know this, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but this is, gonna be animated. This is definitely gonna be animated. We're going deep into that realm, so fear not. We will definitely, we're gonna make that happen. That's a no brainer. That's a no brainer. But this is volume one, right? This is volume one, and we're looking at maybe 4 volumes of Voltron, maybe 3, who knows? But this is volume one. We're working on volume 2 for this strong end at our writers camp. We're gonna be recording. We're gonna be in the booth. We're gonna be tapping in and whatnot. But the album release, we got vendors in the build. We're gonna have vendors. We're gonna have merch that includes t-shirts, hoodies, hats, posters, vinyls, cassettes, and the hardcover and the CDs and whatnot. We may have a comic book. We're gonna do a video shoot that weekend, a strong end. Maybe for Got It Going On and whatnot. Maybe for more than one song. We're gonna have merch in the building, and we're gonna bring other performers who we rock with, who's a part of our collective and whatnot. We're gonna have them opening up. One of the artists that we're gonna have is our young brother, the Hootie. Who how yeah, yeah, he's like 8 or 9 years old and whatnot. He's gonna be performing. You feel me? We'll have Source Guard performing. We're gonna have a few people. Of course, we're gonna be doing Theta Waves live. We can't let that not happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that part, Voltron. The rollout is going down as we speak. You know what I mean? This is the gift that keeps on giving. Um, these are you got to get AA on volume 2. Of course. I was just talking to him last night. Of course, AA gonna be on volume. Volume 2 is gonna be more features. This right here, as you can see, this is the track list. We got Songbird. Shout out to Songbird. She is dynamic on this album. She did her damn thing. Just B, another one, dynamic. On the bass, we had E-Bass on the bass and whatnot. He turned it up on the bass and shit. You feel me? But yeah, man, this is it right here. You know what I mean? This is it right here. I wouldn't steer you wrong. You could actually listen to the album on the last show that we did on Thursday if you want to just test the product. Go and listen to the album. It sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds good, man. Sounds good. If there's any podcasts that are out there that deal with music or anybody want to do the reaction videos, yeah, tap in with us. That comes with perks. You're gonna get taken care of. You do the reaction video, we got you. You know what I mean? We're gonna, one hand will wash the other. Facts. You know what I'm saying? One hand will wash the other. But that's what we definitely need. We need reaction videos, and we need those platforms that we could get on and do our premieres on. You know what I'm saying? Because the angle that we're doing right now, we're not going the traditional route. We're going the route of the independent route. We're utilizing our platforms to get our message out there. We don't want to go the old school route where we got to wait on the labels and nah, fuck that. Playlist and streaming platform, none of that. Don't look for us on Spotify. Don't look for us. Yeah, you could put it in fitness content because we made it for fitness. We made it for the fitness. This album has 3 parts. The first part is like laid back. It's for the ladies. It's like, family type, well, not family, but it's for the ladies. It's the feel good. It's like 4 songs that are giving you feel good, ancient aura, got it going on, soulful, and quote unquote art of attraction and shooting stars, right? The first 4 is like laid back, that's feel goodism. Voltron Force, Mr. Manhattan, arm, leg, a leg, arm, Black Mirrors. That's basically for the backpackers. That's why I have my backpack on in the video, because we the new backpackers, right? But it ain't the old school back. It's a new version of the backpackers, right? And then we take you back in time. We go in the DeLorean. Whatever the hell is going on with this microphone is wild weird. I don't know what the hell. It keeps switching to my Rodecaster for some reason. I have no idea. But yeah, we're gonna deal with that. That spirit saying, nigga, you talking too much. Let's go back to these videos and whatnot. Let's get to Candace. This is after the break. Let's get to Candace, the Bandis Owens and whatnot. I mean, let's land this plane with Bandis. You understand? Let's go, Bandis. Let's go. You got Alex Jones on your back right now. Let's go. Let's.
See this? Andrew Wilson paid Candace Owens $300,000 and got absolutely cooked, and I mean just roasted on live stream. And half of y'all are still picking teams like it's the World Cup and you're betting on it. Let me be very, very clear. Andrew did not care about the case. He didn't even give a fuck about the trial. He wanted to look cool, shit on Candace, and get his clip to ride the Joe Rogan wave. He did not think she was actually gonna take him up on this. He showed up unprepared, which is fucking wild because he claims that TPUSA pays him to train their people on how to debate when he clearly sucks at it. Charlie Kirk is rolling in his grave right now. PBD was mid and barely fact-checked in real time, and Candace walked him down so clean that the live numbers told the whole story. Look, I don't know about you, but when I watched this debate live, this is what I saw. Andrew's stream had 18,000 live viewers, PBD's stream had 75,000 live viewers, and Candace had over 212,000 live viewers. To me, she put both of them on the map for this debate. But here's the part that still has me confused. He actually said Erica Kirk was too retarded to kill her own husband. And his entire thesis was basically because all women are retarded. Has he not heard of Gypsy Rose Blanchard? This dude does not debate. This dude is ego with a microphone. Candace absolutely destroyed him on facts, on memory, on composure. He was not ready. He was not worth her time. He should have paid double. And yet the comments are still Team Candace or Team Andrew. Like y'all just watched a wrestling match instead of a conversation about evidence. And this is exactly why most people just stay stuck for life, bro. Your brain is desperate for a jersey. A side, a hero, a villain. Candace, Andrew, left, right. Stop. Read the actual evidence. Watch what your identity is begging you to believe. Because the second you start worshiping people, you hand them the remote to your judgment. Look, this whole lame-ass debate is exactly why discernment matters. Comment, scroll below, or click the link in my bio to get your scroll scan, because once you
All right, Brosy. I might want to see you do a debate, Brosington. Huh? We got a few clips on this shit, man. Let's go down this rabbit hole. All right, let's check it out. But Ross Ben brought up Candace on her name, and immediately she was thrusted back into the limelight. Like I wasn't even thinking about Candace Owens. She was nowhere on my radar, and she literally got thrusted back in. My whole timeline is about Candace Owens right now, right? But back to what he was saying about the prediction that he gave her props, and he was like, she's the woman that was spoken of in these revelation in the book. You know what I'm saying? And I would say that there's no black woman. You name me the name of what Omarosa. What black woman got white people under their deodorant like Candace Owens right now? They literally fear her intellect, not her ass, not her body, not her sexual prowessness, not her mouth, not her throat. Right? No disrespect to anybody that's listening, but when I frequent the hip hop circles, that's what they talking about. You feel me? That's what they're talking about. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound derogatory, but that's literally how they want our women to be recognized, as that's where their power lies. And I've always said that there's nothing effing with black women who are intellectual. I learned from them. Those were my teachers. They didn't have to teach me through no form of sensuality and sexuality and whatnot. That's not how I was being taught by them. She's walking them down. She's a threat. If she ever decided to go rogue and whatnot and utilize that intellect that she has and go completely against them, they're in fucking trouble. They walk a fine line when they're dealing with her. Give me the name of a melanated woman, although I know how people feel about her. Yeah, we all got her. Of course, I could spend an hour dog walking her about, some of the things that I don't agree with. But name me the name of a black woman in media right now who controls the motherfucking square the way that she does. She strikes fear into the heart of right-wing white folk, not liberals, right-wing white folks. Okay? These the people who got their finger on the nuclear buttons. You understand? They the real robber. You want to talk about where all my scamming ass niggas at? The scamming ass niggas are scared of her. Let's be clear. Every time that she uploads a video, they wipe their brow and be like, I'm glad she's not talking about us, because she literally could dismantle operations with her fucking mouth. I'm just saying. And that's not me giving her an endorsement. I'm not Team Candace. I'm not about to go, you know what I'm saying? I'm not wearing a Candace Owens jersey. You feel me? I'm acknowledging a black woman who's in her quote unquote whatever role that she's in. She's a character, of course. She's on the internet. Everybody on the goddamn internet is a character. So whatever that character is, she's playing her mother effing part to a T. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Is she a plant and all of this other stuff? Yeah, more than likely. Of course. She not on our team. She not on our team. But she's out there cooking them right now, and she fits that description that Ross Ben gave to her. Yeah, she does. I watched the debate. Yeah, she does.
Candace Owens today decisively defeated Andrew Wilson, the champion the TPUSA put forward in the Charlie Kirk assassination cover-up debate, hosted by Patrick Bet-David. I did my regular syndicated show today, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and so I couldn't watch it then. But once I got off air, I watched it. And she slaughtered him. Absolutely slaughtered him. Now, I've seen Wilson before, and he's debated my son. I saw him on Rogan, was familiar with him. And I've seen his tactics. A lot of his appeal to emotions. He just acts confident. That's what he does. And a lot of times he's debating a topic where he's on the right side, so he wins the debate because he's in the right. But she destroyed him. And I'm going to post right here with this same post here at Rolex Jones on X, the most defining moment where he got annihilated. She says, hey, name me the charges against the supposed assassin of Charlie Kirk. And he couldn't name it. She then, in the order of the charges listed, and they pull it up on ChatGPT, and she nailed it word for word with photographic memory. And he says, oh, you were using your phone, I think. You're on your phone. And she reaches over in her purse and pulls it out and gives it to Patrick Bet-David, and there were no text about it to her. So she destroyed him right there. Look, folks, I'm going to explain the keys here. They claim Tyler Robinson got on the roof, made this shot, put a 30-06 together, put a telescopic scope on it. That anybody that knows telescopic scopes know, you put them on, even though they were sighted in before, they don't even hit the paper at 100 yards. So the fact that he could do that, then they put the video out, it's 30-something seconds. He doesn't have time to put a rifle together and do that. It looks like he unfolds something, whoever it is. So the official story is not true. And I broke what Joe Kent's confirmed happened. This has been in the news. They've confirmed happened months after I broke it. That at a cabinet meeting 7 days after Charlie was killed, Kash Patel said, I have orders from the president. We're not looking at any foreign involvement or all the trans groups that said he'll be dead when he comes to town tomorrow. So we know there's a cover-up. Doesn't mean everything Candace has investigated is right. Doesn't mean every rabbit trail they've gone down has been accurate. But the governor and the FBI ordering the concrete torn up in the days after as fast as they could, having construction crews to hurriedly destroy it. Why would you do that? Okay? What I know is the official story is not true. And I know the system has lost all credibility, and that's why the public doesn't buy any of this. Do I think old-time friends of Charlie were involved killing him? Do I think his wife was involved? No. That's not how this stuff works. But did he have a high-level member of TPUSA tell Harrison Smith a month before he died, I'm afraid Israel's going to kill me, and we put that out on X a month before he died? Are his text messages out that Israel was coming after him because he was against the war? He called me a month before he died, saying, good job pushing against this war with Iran. The Israel First lobby's out of control. He also said, keep pressing. Another phone call exposing Epstein. Trump shouldn't be covering that up. This is really important. Keep putting pressure. And I said, thank you. So I had Charlie personally call me. That's in my phone records that he called me repeatedly and text messaged me, thanking me. And when Candace said, I've got text him saying, Israel's coming after me, they said, you're a liar.
I can't look at this Alex Jones shit too long. There was 6 minutes of that shit I couldn't. I'm sorry. There's other people talking about it. Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Respectfully, like, fuck, this nigga like Porky Pig. This nigga like Porky Pig. I just can't.
Watch the recent debate between Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens. Just remember, most of the time these are just an orchestrated spectacle designed to keep people divided, distracted, and obedient. But regardless, Andrew raised $300,000 from working people under the guise of an open debate, even though he himself has completely shifted his own stance in just the past few months. Months ago, he publicly condemned TPUSA and Erica Kirk in extremely harsh terms. But now he pivots to defending the narrative, claiming the case is closed, trying to funnel legitimacy and money back into the very institution he criticized. Because when massive financial stakes and network access enter the frame, independent commentary vanishes, and it's replaced by paid alignment to protect the brand. We saw this exact same pattern during the trial, when network-aligned influencers were paraded out, claiming they saw pristine 4K footage that supposedly settled everything, but independent observers who actually looked at the material confirmed it was the exact same footage already released to the public. When independent voices question the narrative or point out the glaring inconsistencies in the Kirk and Robinson case, they face threats, deplatforming, and coordinated attacks. Because the system can't tolerate unscripted curiosity, and it demands total narrative control. But, let's be clear about the players here. Both Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson operate within the mainstream infrastructure, and they're platformed commentators feeding off the attention economy. But here's the critical distinction: while both exist within that system, Candace is currently asking the exact questions that every critical thinker should be asking, and she's simultaneously exposing the cracks, pointing out the mathematical impossible jump in narrative, and refusing to accept their polished script. Meanwhile, the rest of the network handlers are paid to protect the lies, enforce compliance, and convince you that the case is closed, and they want you to pick a team in their drama so you never try looking into it yourself. Having one side going completely against the system keeps you pacified, believing someone else will do the investigation and will take action for you, while the other one completely shifts his stance and makes you feel isolated for even questioning the narrative. But regardless, the truth is still there, where Candace is asking the right questions and pointing out the inconsistency. It's up to what we do with that truth and the digging we do ourselves that makes the difference. But don't fall for Andrew's pivot. Demand raw evidence, look past the paid mouthpieces, and stop granting authority to systems built on manufactured consensus. We do not forgive, we do not forget. Anonymously enlightening out.
Now, I want everybody to keep in mind ever since this fiasco of this Charlie Kirk shit went down, right? Things have been going downhill for the right wing of the vulture ever since, right? Everything has been going bad for them since this situation with Charles Kirk, okay? Um, I don't know if people even remember a time before the Charlie Kirk assassination. This right wing, they had all of the podcasters lined up. They had chips on the table. You know what I mean? The Nelk Boys, Theo Vaughn, Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes, Candace Bandis Owens. All of them was formed Voltron, and they were riding on the Cheeto train. Charlie was their hero, right? Charlie was their fucking hero. That was their guy. Okay. He was the one. He's like their Kai Cenat. You feel me? He was kind of like their go-to. That shit began to, once he got clipped, the whole entire movement fell apart. In hindsight, people would be like, man, that don't mean nothing, whatever. Nigga, you don't remember. You need to exercise your memory. It was built to ass. They was doing numbers. Their propaganda was seeking over into the black. You had niggas wearing, where the niggas wearing MAGA hats at right now? You had dudes literally. I remember it started with Pharaoh and whatnot, but when they was on a run and whatnot, they had the daughters was really they was out there in Tinder trying to find them a Charlie. You know what I'm talking about? The men, the black men, it was more niggas for Trump than I could point fingers at. You know, they had our people under a spell. Now MAGA is eating each other like maggots. Yes, thank you, Transforms. The goofies, that's right. So they all got exposed, and you can't ungoof yourself. You know what I mean? They had people fooled for a slight minute. Yeah, Brandon Tate, Officer Tatum, and all of them. I seen all of these people popping out. I seen them all popping out. Man, they was out there buying mansions and whatnot with a 10-year prediction. Yeah, this shit gonna go on forever. Not nigga. Adrian Broner hotter than them niggas right now. How about that? Adrian Broner and Dean the fucking Great is hotter than every single one of them. Jake Paul got his jaw broke, and so did Andrew Tate. It all came falling down. It all came falling down. That is a fact. I mean, if you don't get no joy from seeing, once again, Allah is the best of planners. Yeah, the devil be planning, but Allah is the best of planners. That whole thing went to shit in a matter of minutes. In a matter of minutes, y'all. Trust. Aiden Rothstein and all of them fuck boys, them streamers and everything, they all crickets right now. They all crickets. When they clipped Charlie, they clipped all of them. Here I'm talking about. He got shot in the throat. They all been silent ever since, bro. You know? They all got clipped. So whatever ritual that shit was, man, it worked for those of us that was tired of that bullshit. Factory. I'm trying to tell you, man. I see the forest for the trees. So whatever she's unraveling and whatnot, and whatever's going on, you know, I would say thank you, Candace, because you were the spook who sat by the quote unquote, not really the door, but you basically became Wreck-It Ralph for us. You know what I mean? Kudos, sis. You became Wreck-It Ralph. You got into the system and destroyed it from within. I thank you for that. You know what I mean? You've created so much turmoil that these people, because they're not gonna get behind you. You did more help to the black community by dismantling these inbred you know, I don't even want to go crazy on them, but you did a lot of inner work to dismantle the cabal. Not to say that it's over with and whatnot, but you definitely exposed them. you know? And now with all of their craziness and everything that they're doing, it stands out like a sore thumb. It looks so crazy now, but it was because of the exposure. It's because people got, and then remember, is it real? That's when the tides turned on, is it real? And they have lost their quote unquote hold on a lot of people, a lot of people's consciousness. They lost the PR war. They got neutralized by the right wing and whatnot. They had the right wing under their wing for a very long time. All of that shit is breaking up. All of that shit is breaking up. That's a part of the spell. That's a part of the empire. Remember, ideas and concepts are the highest form of warfare. Propaganda is real. They have motherfuckers underneath a spell.
Trump is injecting Christianity into military schools for military families across the country. The Department of Defense, according to the Associated Press, has announced that starting this fall, there will be Christianity taught in all military schools across the country. These are schools that the Department of Defense operates for military families, K through 12, kindergartners. It operates about 160 schools for about 70,000 students for military families. And well, the course is titled Western Civilization, quote, The Golden Thread, A History of the Western Tradition, Volume 1, The Ancient World and Christendom. That's what the book that they're going to be using is called. And so now they're injecting religion into the studies of military students, kindergartens, first graders, second graders of military families, whether or not they're actually Christian or not. So as always, I'll have more updates for you soon. Spread the word. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come very soon.
Yeah, keep them debates coming up. Keep them debates coming up. You know what I mean? Because man, oh man, these people are trying their best. They are reaching, they're grabbing for straws out here in these streets. You understand? Let's get to this schmuck right here, Elon.
Port Dweeb Musk already, or can we send him on one of those SpaceX rockets, never be seen again? I mean, this guy fucking sucks.
Say that Tesla's stealing water from the region.
This region has so much water. Look around you.
Excuse me, ugly bitch. You didn't answer the question. Are you guys stealing water or not with that fake-ass villainous laugh?
No, this is completely wrong. It's like water everywhere here. Does this seem like a desert to you? It's ridiculous.
Even as a hater, I know I don't hate him nearly enough. Grifting fake piece of fucking shit who came here illegally, came to school, dropped out. You're supposed to be immediately fucking deported. I don't understand. Reaching iniquitous levels of corruption that Trump's seen in his dictatorship has now decided we're gonna launch a family bank. Hello? That's legal? I mean, I know you already scammed $3 billion off the MAGA dick suckers, but now you're going to open up a bank? That's not all. They keep on saying you cannot spend $1 billion to build the ballroom. So he's like, you know what? Fuck that. I don't need your approval. This is a military requirement. State-of-the-art facility, physical protection that we need. It's like, wow. I mean, at this point in time, my boy's playing on full creative mode. You almost have to respect it where it's like, he just doesn't give a fuck about the law, constitution, nothing. Until somebody steps up to stop him, he not gonna stop. He continues to post AI slap onto his account where he is also now offering $100,000 a month where some companies are paying to get early tweets so, you can insider trade. But that's not corruption. That's just a regular day with Trumpstein. And this would be funny if it was actually true, but they control the trade of foreign moves. Even though he went on TV yesterday and said, we're gonna make that a territory. How, where, when, it's not even fucking close to being possible. So what have our greatest liability and our tax dollars been going towards? And what have they been up to? Well, blowing up more civilians. This time they said, well, Hezbollah attacked us and they injured 3 of our IDF soldiers. Seriously injured them. Somehow they never die though, unfortunately. But in response, they're like, yeah, we're just going to blow up this entire building. After we blew it up, we found out that there were civilians in there. We can't believe that Hezbollah deliberately put civilians in there knowing we were going to blow up that entire building. We just didn't know they were in there, so we blew them up. We're sorry, but Hezbollah, I can't believe you would put your civilians in there. At what point in time, do they actually think that other people believe this outside of their fucking cult?
En avión de la Fuerza Aérea Israelí. La delegación humanitaria
está bajo el mando del brigadier general Yossi.
Yeah, so that's a terrible fucking sign, because that means they're sending people from the IDF that say they're going to come help to Colombia. When in reality, most likely, they're going to do land inspection for a land grab and maybe, you know, kidnap a couple kids on the way out. It's interesting to me. A lot of photo ops, but very clean. Not much help. My boy was just like, let me just get in this hole, take another video, and we're going to move Groove Vibe Slide out of here. We don't give a fuck about Colombia. But they have to fake like they care about Colombia because they just randomly recognize the Golan Heights, which no one else in the world recognizes at all, other than us and them. We got the land stealers back at it again over here in the West Bank, and I just want you to take a look. Oh yeah, because this motherfucker looks indigenous to the Middle East. What a scumbag fucking prick. Waste of space and air. I mean, this man has the land deed to the house, ownership document, and the colonizer is just saying, no, this is mine. I'm God's chosen people. You guys are Goyim. And then the IDF will come inside with these ugly fucks. You understand? And they call this a terrorist flag. No, the blue and white is a terrorist flag. Then we have another ugly piece of shit that looks absolutely nothing like he could possibly be from the Middle East. This man tries to claim that his bloodline is there, and then he's going to steal some plants. I'm telling you, you guys are hated, and it's so unfortunate this is happening to the Palestinian people of Gaza and the West Bank, but it's also thank you, because you have opened the rest of the world's eyes to the corrupt piece of shit humans that call themselves humans that live over there. And then for the army to pull up and immediately side with the colonizers, oh yeah, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, of course you don't. They shot at them a little while ago, but you can't be held accountable. Thank goodness we have good Jewish people that are risking their lives to go over there with them, or else they probably would have just been shot and forgot about. Separate area of the West Bank. These family homes here have now been trapped and cut off from civilization, water, food, everything, as IDF and colonizers sit atop and attack them. And what is their crime they're committing? Staying in the houses that they've always had since they've been born. And Israelis say, well, no, this is our house now. You need to leave. Obviously, the rest of the world's watching like, what the fuck are you talking about? To the point that even Mike Suckaby came and spoke against what they were doing. You understand how much it takes for Mike Suckaby to be like, no. Actually, Israel, you're kind of tripping. I've never heard that in my life.
All right, let's get us some chocolate Godiva, and we are out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been holding y'all hostage for a minute now. Give us free. Real quick, let's cook Jonathan Major real quick. Yeah, we're gonna bring Rosben.
Jonathan Major's doing anti-Muslim propaganda for Ben Shapiro and us lowly goyim have to do with Ben Levin Blanco, a Jewish guy from Virginia who's making Latino minstrel show characters because that genre was promised to him 3,000 years ago. And what does that have in common with Ariana Grande not acting racially ambiguous anymore, while Perez acts like not hateful to everyone online and just himself online? And what does that have to do with Tyga not even acting human online as he puts out an AI album, while Aubrey Graham, a guy that we all know is a Jewish Canadian, is still pretending to be an American rapper even though he was buried here last year, okay? And now he's doing a Flavor Flav style dating show. Okay, now what do all of those have in common, right? They're maxing out your shock factor because it's the only attention that you have left to give, and they'll take it by any means necessary. They will kill you in any way they can, but welcome to the death of good art and your attention span. Art doesn't scale. Our attention to detail died in the process. So did our standards for art. Now that you let a bunch of rich rapper actors literally take over the space or abuse, groom Disney child stars or rich kids in general, parody art and kill it for money. And so they can't sell anything. They're terrible at what they do. They always have been. And so they need you to think it's like their last week alive, their last tour, their last album, just like Donald Trump needs you to think it's America's last week alive, even though it's only his. They're distracting you with absolute bullshit while they're running away from crimes against humanity, like real life horror stories. It'll be Usher has a body double, not that he gave 100 women herpes, or he introduced Justin Bieber to P. Diddy and he was really close with P. Diddy. It'll be Anne Hathaway has a fake baby bump, and not that she's in the files and knows all those fucked up people. It's going to be the most evil version of bread and circus that you have ever seen. Celebrity is not sustainable. TED Talks are doing conversations between the rapists and their victims. So all they have left is blood and torture fetishes to steal the little bit of time that you have left on this beautiful earth, while the people in charge do what they're doing at a massive scale, killing thousands of people a week with trillions of your tax dollars. I used to work in LA and they're stealing all your attention, okay? For an ad. And this is how this works. Essentially, you have less time with your family, your life is speeding up, and you don't even have any time for yourself because you have a bunch of rich people that are paying to hijack all your attention in hell. It's very easy, it's very cheap if you're born rich. And so protect your energy, okay? They're trying to drag you down to their frequency, and they're all fucking evil losers, right? All they know how to do is cry for attention. You know how to be something, and you know how to get good at something. So stay beautiful, stay loved, and stay on that side of shit. None of them are real, right? I just need you to know they're not real. You are real. You are loved. You are beautiful, and you can have an amazing day. They could never. Okay, bye.
People that's in the Matrix right now that are consuming all of this slop, like with no filter. Oh my fucking God. It's no wonder that everybody is running around cooked, because look at what the hell is out there, bro. Like, they are not playing with it just gets worse by the day. But if people are out here like plugged into TikTok like it's the Matrix, and they just getting continuously cooked, man, I don't even know what to say. Like who's gonna save you? This shit is almost, you know what I mean? Like it's a cold red at this point. We gotta save people. Like, we motherfuckers really gotta get them out, man. Man, oh man, do I have any chocolate on me?
I just got back from watching the Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens.
No, I don't think so.
See how bad of a place you have to be in.
All right, let my dude. Let my dude take us home. Oh, here we go.
Real quick, I just wanted to touch base on this before I go ahead and get some shout out, before I roll over and get some beauty rest. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're not even trying to hide it. They're not trying to hide it at all. We're still talking about Nolan Wells. Another man was just found face down in a pond in North Carolina, in Harrisburg, North Carolina. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. This former white police officer was, he wasn't accused of planning. The man quite literally had over 200 rounds of ammunition on him. There was a manifesto involved in which he was supposedly going to, use every single last one of those 200 bullets and then try and force a smooshmide by police officer after using all 200 rounds in a densely populated traditionally black area. And you want to know what the police did? They said, well, we don't have enough to book him, so we're gonna quietly release him and drop all charges. Like, they're not, I promise you, they're not hiding it anymore. You know what I mean? So y'all need to start acting accordingly. My people, you need to start moving accordingly. If you're catching my drift, I'm sure you are. They're not trying to hide it. And that is the most dangerous part about it. If we did not have independent media sources, and we did not have other media sources, if you will, gossip, hot takes, we would not hear about this. It would be months, close to a year before we'd hear about this. Years even. Because mainstream media isn't talking about it. I even went and looked myself. I'm like, why the fuck? Why? Usually shit like this is posted all over The Guardian. It's posted all over whatever, BBC, East West Blip, Bitch Press. I don't fucking know. Cracker Press, media source. Who gives a fuck? The bottom line is they let this motherfucker go. And that motherfucker should have been buried underneath the jail. He's going to try and do it again. We know for certain. He did not show up to that location with over 200 rounds of ammunition, with a manifesto and an intent to die by schmooshmide by police officer, just so y'all can let him go and he go about his merry way. No, he's going to try again. So my people, you know what to do. Lock in, twin. Be on your P's and Q's.
Yes, sir. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here on this good Saturday Night Live. We've been locked in. We premiered a whole video tonight. We dropped a whole bunch of information for the family. Do this though. Leave comments on the video. Yeah, that part. Yeah. Leave comments. Talk, engage. Okay? Let's be more engaging. Yeah. So with that being said, I do want to throw this up here real quick. Once again, the album is out. Make sure y'all go and get that. You know what I mean? It's on VoltronAlbum.com. Okay. It is on thechemistry.com, and it's also on VoltronAlbum.com. Y'all will be very pleased at what you go ahead and hear. All right. But definitely add that to your collection. And then September the 13th, spread the word. We're going to be in Atlanta for the album release. All right. Album release party in Atlanta. Atlantis Major, aka Atlantis Major. That is going to be the strong end of 9/11. I believe that there's going to be they're doing a Stone Mountain thing with Source Guard. They got the block party on 9/11 in the West End and whatnot. So the whole strong end got events going down. So definitely, if you're in town or if you plan on coming in town, we got you on lockdown. This one is going to be one for the record books. All right. We'll be promoting it leading up to it. And I will give you the word on Ross Ben Patreon class on Monday. I'll let everybody know what that's looking like. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to stay dangerous. You could go ahead and drop something on the Cash app to show some love, to show some appreciation, because the best nation is donation. As you do know, this channel is not monetized and we are supported by the people. As you know, we ride for the people. We don't run around. We're not restricted in what it is that we talk about because we don't fall under the censorship rules. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, and light. Stay dangerous, and we will see you on the next broadcast. All right? 1000.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree in the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth. Oh yeah, they're scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls. Niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft. Yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft. And then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.